Welcome to Chinese Novel Audiobook 61. Next time. You say that every time. Time is fleeting. Under the first ray of sunshine in the morning, there are a few more strangers looking directly at the sun. Before, there was only Tang San, but now, it has evolved into several people. Cultivation of the purple demon eye requires accumulation over time and cannot be completed overnight. Although it will only slightly improve mental strength, it will definitely be of great benefit over time. Lexius objectively evaluated the purple demon eye. He never expected that the self-created soul skills mentioned by his grandson could be directly practiced, and could also improve eyesight and mental power. This is no self-created soul skill. This is simply a treasure. Priceless treasure. Just this purple demon eye might be able to create a big force, and the purple demon eye is the foundation of this big force. The true heritage. Today's methods to improve mental power are nothing more than daily meditation, which will improve it slightly, as well as soul power breakthroughs, absorbing soul rings, absorbing head soul bones, etc. There is no way to directly cultivate spiritual power. This purple devil pupil can do it. As for the ghost shadow, it is a physical combat skill, which is considered a good thing for middle and low-level soul masters. Can also be used as foundation. I didn't expect that my grandson and grandson's wife would bring these two good things when they came back this time. Not bad. As for the love heart he sent, that thing is just a souvenir to him. After 100 years, Navalette will inherit those things. Giving it to my grandson-in-law now is just a little ahead of schedule. No, I have to think of a way to go to the treasure house of my old brothers to see if there are any inherited items related to the god of love. These guys always have some secrets. It just so happens that this ghostly shadow can be shared with them. As for the purple demonic eyes. Speaking of this, Lexius hesitated slightly. It is true that the 8 major families are of the same spirit. Over the years, there has never been any such thing as brothers fighting against each other. However, as soul masters, everyone has their own secrets to some extent. Purple demonic eyes is a skill that can completely improve his clan, even surpassing other clans. Shaking his head, Lexius finally decided to listen to the opinions of Navalette and Fukalos before making a decision. These two things were ultimately brought back by Fukalos and Navalette, and they have the right to decide where they belong. It's a pity that the two left early in the morning, otherwise Lexius wouldn't have to worry. Anyway, there are still a few months until the annual meeting, so there's no rush. The scene changes to the riverside. Tang San opened his eyes drowsily, he rubbed his swollen head, and memories suddenly came to his mind. No, it's impossible, I actually lost the Tang sect's secret knowledge. Tang San's eyes widened. He remembered everything. That's right, it was Navalette's sneak attack on Tang San that made him lose this game. Moreover, due to geographical reasons, Navalette had a natural increase. In the spirit fight here, the opponent has an innate advantage. However, if Billet hadn't sneak attacked Tang San when he was thinking about something, Tang San might not have lost. Tang San clenched his fists and his eyes were red. If Navalette once only had a little bit of a way to kill himself, now he has a way to kill him. Is his Tang sect's unique skill so easy to take away? Next time, I will never lose. After a long silence, Tang San began to look at the surrounding environment. It was still the place where he and Billet were fighting souls. Wait, why is he lying on the ground? Where is Xiao Wu? Why didn't Xiao Wu send him back to the academy? At this moment, Tang San was a little confused and at a loss. Beside him, an unused sleeve arrow lay quietly. On top of the sleeve arrow, there was a rabbit pattern and a dance character. Seeing this sleeve arrow, Tang San's expression changed drastically. Isn't this the sleeve arrow he gave to Xiao Wu for self-defense? Why are you here? Where is Xiao Wu? The sound of swish, and the sound of something touching the grass not far away brought Tang San back to his senses. He instantly opened the purple demon eyes and looked towards the source of the sound. Xiao Wu's back came into view. At this moment, Tang San was stunned. That figure was definitely Xiao Wu's, and he would definitely not mistake it. But, why would Xiao Wu leave him and run away? Keeping him here all night, and keeping the sleeve arrows that he gave to her when they first became brother and sister, Xiao Wu is going to sever ties with him. After being silent for a long time, Tang San stood up slightly tremblingly. The wind and coldness all night made him slightly cold and uncomfortable. It took him about half an hour before he took back his hidden weapon and walked towards Shrek Academy. He wanted to go back and ask Xiao Wu what was going on. Looking at the sleeve arrow in his hand, Tang San's heart gradually became cold. When Tang San returned to Shrek Academy, he immediately went to Xiao Wu's dormitory. There was only one girl in Shrek Academy, Xiao Wu, and she lived in a separate room. Unfortunately, what disappointed Tang San was that Xiao Wu was indeed in the dormitory, but she didn't want to see him. This made Tang San completely unable to figure out where the problem was. Suddenly, he thought of Villette. Without Navalette, they would still have a close brother-sister relationship, and they would never have evolved into what they are today. Sure enough, from the first moment I saw you, my intuition was right. You really have a way to kill yourself, Villette. Tang San thought to himself, his face getting colder and colder, and his killer nature gradually returned. Hey, isn't this Tang San? Why, you got rejected. At this time, Dai Mubai, who had recovered, suddenly came over. He put his hands behind his head, raised his head and held his chest high, and said with a smile and sarcasm. After hearing this, Tang San came back to his senses, glanced at Dai Mubai coldly, and said, Dai Mubai, if you want to fight, I, Tang San, will always be with you. If you want to seek death, you can do it now. Tang San's cold tone and eyes really startled Dai Mubai. When he came to his senses, he instantly became a little angry. This Tang San was just a defeated general, well, his hidden weapons are quite powerful. HMPH, I'm too lazy to argue with you. Dai Mubai finally chose to follow his heart. Tang San seemed to be very angry at the moment. If he really off this lunatic, he would really take action. After saying this, Dai Mubai ignored Tang San and said to himself, let's go find the twin sisters. As for Zhu Zuqing, she doesn't know what to do, so she just left. Anyway, she will come back sooner or later. Seeing this, Tang San glanced at Dai Mubai coldly, but in the end he didn't make any move. Compared to Navalette, Dai Mubai was a bit more pleasing to the eye. 62. Villette, why are you crying again? Soto City Great Soul Fighting Arena. In Billette's room. Fukalos' figure suddenly appeared and immediately pounced on Navalette. This teleportation of the god of love is more useful than the teleportation anchor point left on the continent of Teyvat. Fukalos said with a smile before leaving Villette's arms. There are many teleportation anchor points on the continent of Teyvat, but there are very few people who can use these teleportation anchor points. Different from these fixed-point teleportation anchors, Cupid's teleportation ability allows Navalette or Fukalos to teleport directly to the other party. No, Fukalos waited for Navalette to enter the city, and after arriving at the soul fighting field, he teleported to Navalette from outside the city. The abilities you have just acquired must always be tried. Hey, Villette, what are you thinking about? Why don't you speak? Hearing Fukalos's voice, Navalette came back from his thought for a moment, and then said, I was wondering, if I throw you into the sky, and then we use teleportation at the same time, will it get stuck? On the way. Fukalos. This statement makes sense, but is this metaphor somewhat inappropriate? What do you mean by throwing her into the sky? However, what will happen if teleportation is used at the same time? This question is really worth pondering. By the way, Fukalos, do you have a martial spirit? Villette changed the subject without changing his expression, looked at Fukalos and said. His eyes are so clear and full of wisdom. Martial spirit. Fukalos was stunned. Wuhun is a specialty of Douluo Continent. Every child over 6 years old can awaken it. After Villette traveled through time, a martial spirit was born for some unknown reason. But her situation and Navalette's situation are not the same, but they are essentially the same. The rules on Douluo Continent cannot prevent them from improving their strength, even if they don't have martial souls or soul rings. Fukalos closed his eyes, felt it for a moment, then shook his head and said, I don't have a martial soul. But, if I want to take action, I can use water elements to simulate the martial spirit I want. This is a disguise. Pure water elves already have the ability to simulate creatures, not to mention Fukalos, whose status has been elevated to the level of a demon. The innate demon has no gender. Fukalos is one of Egolia's dependents, not an innate demon god. Pure water elves are divided into men and women. The love between humans and pure water elves. With the help of Egolia, Fukalos merged with the water of the original womb sea, and then took on the human form. And, there is no difference from humans. Funina is the most perfect human being. Later, Egolia passed the throne to Fukalos, which raised Fukalos' status to the level of a demon god. He was also called the second generation water ******* and the ****** of justice. The throne of the ***** was destroyed, and the power of the ancient dragon was returned to Navalite. Fukalos lost this part of her ability, but she still possessed the demonic personality of Egolia. Let's get back to business. After hearing what Fukalos said, Villette looked at Fukalos in surprise. Well, only he himself was weakened. Fukalos remained unchanged at all. Becoming a martial spirit doesn't mean it's weakened in disguise. Not to mention him, even Pengu Axe, Four Swords of Zushan, and Dongwang Bell came to Douluo Continent, and they were all weakened to the point that no one recognized them. Have you recovered your current strength? Not yet, only 80% to 90% of the peak capacity, but it should be enough. Fukalos thought for a while and answered truthfully. The corner of Villette's eyes twitched. Her peak period. 500-year-old demon god. Among the demon gods, he is about the same as a young child. Where is the peak state? On the continent of Teva, perhaps only Barbados and Morax, the two gods who have never changed, have truly reached their peak. By the way, there is also the Otaku, who also has her peak. Among the second-generation gods, there is only the god of thunder. She and the first-generation god of thunder are twin demon gods. The change of the god of thunder actually makes them stronger. Because the power of the first-generation god of thunder is incomparable to that of the second-generation god of thunder. I heard that she recently went to another Douluo continent with a little Huang Mao. What does it seem to be called? Douluo. Martial Soul Thunderbolt General. Very good at cooking. That's good, let's go to the Lake of Life for a walk sometime. I think we'll be able to fully recover you. Villette said with a calm expression, as if the Lake of Life belonged to him. This is something that can't be helped. There are only so few resources on Douluo Continent. Now, the two eyes of ice and fire have been so dazzled that there is only one acacia heartbroken red, and where there is abundant energy, only the Lake of Life is left. By the way, there is also the far north, where there is a large amount of 10,000-year-old ice marrow. Suddenly, Villette frowned. He suddenly remembered that most of those 10,000-year-old ice marrow seemed to have been burned by the ice silkworm. Now, that ice silkworm that is nearly 1,000,000 years old should be in the Lake of Life at this time, right? No need, I'm satisfied with being able to turn into a human again so many years in advance. Fukalos shook his head and said softly, then gently stroked Villette's cheek with his right hand, looked into his eyes and continued. Our time has just begun, the future is very long, and we will also become very powerful. That's right, Navalette. If I curse you now, you won't be able to resist. Quote. Navalette took a deep breath. What was this woman going to do? I, Fukalos, curse you in the name of the god of water and the god of justice, Villette, to be immortal, free from illness and disaster, and turn every bad thing into good luck. When he said this, Fukalos' face became a little pale, as if he had consumed a lot. This scene made Navalette a little panicked. What's going on? Fukalos, stop, what are you doing? I, the mighty water elemental dragon king, do I need these curses from you? Seeing Villette's appearance, the corners of Fukalos' lips slightly raised. This little guy is still so easy to be fooled. The curse of pure water elves can be realized if conditions permit. Furthermore, pure water elves who use curses will only be weak for a period of time. However, it also has limitations. It cannot be used too many times in a lifetime. The last time it was used, it was to curse Funina's eternal life. As Funia's body, it is not difficult to realize this curse, and it is within the scope of the curse. Fool, I'm fine. Why are you crying again? Fukalos' face gradually returned to normal, and he raised his head to look at Navalette. The little guy was crying again. Closing parenthesis. Villette slowly exhaled a breath of turbid air. Does this short-lived wife like to seek death so much? He doesn't want to do it again. Reshape it, my love. Chapter 63. Bug in the Soul Fighting Arena. I don't know how long it took before the sky became clear. This makes the people of Soto City a little confused. What's going on? The weather in Soto City has been changing recently. It changes from sunny to cloudy from time to time. This is the second time that it has rained on a sunny day. Fukalos, why do you think you like to seek death so much? Villette pinched Fukalos's face and said angrily. This little lady is so distressing. She always considers others first, but herself is not considered. Let go, it hurts. You still know it hurts. Do you know that my heart felt so cold just now? I'm sorry. I apologize. If an apology is useful, what else can the law do? No, I originally planned to forget about things that happened 10 years ago. What, 10? Humph, it's not going to stop now. Navalette snorted and then let go of Fukalos's face. After hearing this, Fukalos blinked, with a smile in his beautiful eyes. The weather is fine, how about we go out for a walk? Won't you take a break? Villette said with some worry. He couldn't forget Fukalos's pale face before. This lady is really. Hey, it's already fine. I am the god of water and the god of justice, so how can I be so fragile? Fukalos turned around in a circle to show that he was healed and said. Seeing this, Navalette was temporarily relieved and nodded. That's good, and don't treat yourself like this again. Fukalos nodded like he was pounding garlic, with a serious look on his face. Sighing, Navalette held Fukalos in his arms, and then. Approximately 10 minutes later, the two of them walked out of the room. Fukalos's cheeks were a little rosy, but other than that, nothing much happened. Navalette is very respected in the spirit fighting arena. Ordinary employees will greet him in kind when they see him. Hello, Mr. Villette. Hello. At this time, Villette would also respond kindly. Although everyone was very curious about Fukalos held by Navalette, they did not ask too many questions. The senior management of Duhun Arena is a little confused. This lady doesn't seem to be from another family, right? Of course, this matter has nothing to do with them, so they won't bother to ask unless they take the initiative. Spirit Fighting Arena, 8 major families, focusing on fighting souls. Other than that, just ignore it. As the senior leaders of the Great Soul Fighting Arena, they have received this kind of education. At this moment, a familiar figure appeared in front of Navalette, with a sad look on his face, as if something big had happened. Director Bo, what's wrong with you? Navalette frowned and asked. Hearing Navalette's voice, Director Ao reacted, looked at Navalette, and said, hello, young master. Sorry, I was thinking about something just now. Supervisor Ao said with some confusion. Oh, can you tell me? If it's not a secret. After hearing this, Director Ao thought for a moment and said, Master, this is what happened. A group of people have come to the Soul Fighting Arena in the past 2 days. They are all Silver Soul Fighting Soul Masters. However, there are no such fighters in our Soul Fighting Arena who can match them. We can only send out a Bronze Fighting Spirit level team. Unfortunately, they failed miserably. In addition, the great nobles have placed heavy bets on this team. Our fighting spirit field has suffered serious losses in the past 2 days. Supervisor Ao told what was bothering him. The other person was obviously invited by the big nobles in Soto City just to make money. After hearing this, Navalette fell silent. If he remembered correctly, then this group of people should be Huang Do's first team, Yu Tianeng and others. Logically speaking, Yu Tianeng and others shouldn't have come to Soto City so early, right? In the original work, it was the Shrek 7 monsters who defeated this team, but now there are no Shrek 7 monsters. Wait a minute, Dugu Yan took Earth Dragon Golden Melon. It's impossible that her soul power didn't break through to level 40, right? Navalette asked subconsciously. How many are there? 6. They all belong to the Imperial Battle Team and should be students of the Tiando Imperial Academy. A team battle in the Soul Arena does not necessarily require 7 people. As long as it is greater than or equal to 5 and less than 9 people, it will be fine. When 2 sides fight, the number of souls on the field will be determined by the side with the smaller number of members. If one side has 5 players and the other side has 8 players, then both sides will only play 5 players. It seems that Dugu Yan has really broken through to the Soul Sect level, but their approach is a bug in the Soul Fighting Arena. That's right, now that Dugu Yan has broken through to the Soul Sect level, what the Imperial Fighting Team will face is the Soul Sect level Silver Fighting Soul Team, not the Soul Master level Silver Fighting Soul Team. However, the Wangdu team temporarily kicked Du Guyan out of the team. So, they are all Soul Sect members and do not have to face a Soul Sect level team. Doing this is indeed a bug in the soul fighting arena. The Huangdo team had no choice but to do this. They were just Du Guyan, who had just broken through to the Soul Sect. How could they fight against a team with all Soul Sect members and possibly all high-level Soul Sect members? Even if their martial spirits are powerful, they are top-notch martial arts, and the probability of winning is very slim. Thinking of this, Villette shook his head. He had no good solution for this. He just hoped that the soul fighting arena could quickly transfer people from other places. Even if people are transferred, they may not be the opponents of the Royal Do team. Navalette still knows this. The best beast spirit in the world, the top defensive spirit, the best healing weapon spirit in the world, these are all in the Imperial fighting team. Director Bo, you go ahead and do your work first. There must be a road to the mountain. It's better to find a way to transfer people from other places first. I don't have a better way here. Then Villette can't end up in person, right? Although the Imperial fighting team is stuck with a bug in the Soul arena, its existence is reasonable. How can we still ask them not to lay off employees? If Villette disguises himself as Soul Lord and ends up in person, that would be a real foul. Hey! Supervisor outside, worried, but still unable to make a decision. Can he still ask the Soul Master, level young master in front of him to play in person? If he was injured, wouldn't the old man kill him? After Supervisor Al left, Navalette looked at Fukalos. Seeing Fukalos' thoughtful look, Navalette asked, "What are you thinking about?" Huh. No, it's nothing. Fukalos shook her head, but the cunningness in her beautiful eyes betrayed her. Seeing Villette staring at him, Fukalos spread his hands helplessly and said, "If I can let that person." 64. The one seeking death is here. If we can let that girl Du Guyan return to the Imperial fighting team, will this problem be solved? Fukalos blinked and said tentatively. Navalette was silent. What Fukalos said was reasonable, but it was difficult to implement it. They came here to win, how could they easily return to the team and then go on stage to get beaten? Yes, just get beaten. In a situation like theirs, the soul fighting field will definitely send out 7 high-level soul sects. Even if the Imperial fighting team has the advantage of martial arts, it will be almost impossible to win. This issue should be left to professional and responsible people to handle. Navalette shook his head and without saying much, led Fukalos and walked out of the spirit fighting arena. The fighting hours are still early, so there is no need to rush. Is this method bad? Okay. Best. You guy. After the two of them left the spirit fighting arena, the bright sunshine shone on their faces. Because Navalette is a celebrity in the soul fighting arena, no matter where he goes in the city, there will always be some eyes on him. This time, everyone was not only looking at Navalette, but also at Fukalos. The highest judge of the fighting spirit arena actually fell in love, and I don't know how many pure white lilies of the valley would faint from crying. Take a walk around and experience the local customs, gourmet food and champagne of Soto City. Hey, isn't that Dai Mubai? I haven't seen him for a long time. Suddenly, Navalette was stunned by the figure that appeared in his eyes. He vaguely remembered what Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zuqing said to him when they ran away. They gave Dai Mubai a good beating. It has been more than a month, and Dai Mubai just appeared in Sotuo City, which shows that his previous injury was not serious. Dai Mubai was still hugging the two girls he had hugged in the Rose Hotel. They were twin sisters who looked almost identical. Master Dai, you haven't come to see us for a long time. My sister and I thought you had abandoned us. How could it be possible? I'm just cultivating during this period. How could I abandon you? You are all my darlings, Dai Mubai. Dai Mubai smiled without blushing. He originally planned to abandon the two girls because Zhu Zuqing came, but before he could abandon the two girls, Zhu Zuqing left again. No, the two women don't know about it at all. Suddenly, Dai Mubai seemed to feel that someone was looking at him. He frowned and looked towards the source of the gaze. Navalette. At this moment, Dai Mubai was a little confused. Yes, Navalette, who said she would not communicate with outsiders, was currently hugging a young girl, and the two seemed very intimate. As expected, everything he said to Ning Rongrong was a lie. It was just that he had not met the girl he was interested in, so he was perfunctory with Ning Rongrong. Men, is there anyone who is not lewd? Wait a minute, this girl. Looking at Fukalos, and then at the twin sisters he was holding in his arms, a trace of jealousy flashed in Dai Mubai's eyes. These sisters are so aristocratic that there is no way to compare with the girl's temperament. They look like fairies falling from the sky, and they both look like wild kuns coming out of Kun's nest. Why? Just because his billet has the appearance of a reader who is 78% good. Dai Mubai, don't accept it. Dai Mubai knew that Billet was a powerful person at the soul level, but he was not afraid at all. Soul Lord. Who is not the Soul Master? He, Dai Mubai, is a 37th level Soul Master. At the Soul Master stage, there are very few people who can defeat him. You guys go back first, I have something else to do. Dai Mubai let go of the two women and said seriously. Quote. The twin sisters were stunned for a moment. They looked at each other, a little confused. What is going on? Dai Mubai just asked them out, why did he ask them to go back again? How come they sisters are just two golden flowers in Sotuo City, and they come and go as quickly as Dai Mubai calls them? How do others think of them? Hunzun. As long as they are willing, it's not like the soul sect can't flatter them. However, after they saw Dai Mubai's serious expression, they finally decided to give Dai Mubai a chance. There would never be a next time for this kind of thing. The main reason is that Dai Mubai is rich, has gold soul coins, and looks good, so they will follow Dai Mubai. Otherwise, they can still achieve the conditions of fawning over higher level soul masters. Okay, Mr. Dai. Times 2. After the two women left, Dai Mubai walked towards Billet and Fukalos. On the way, he even adjusted his clothes a little. With a bohemian smile on his face, his brows were full of energy, and he looked very sunny. In terms of appearance, Dai Mubai thinks that he is not inferior to Navalet, but in terms of taste, he is far behind. If Zhu Zuqing hadn't left, he wouldn't have gone back to the sisters. Even there is a gap between Zhu Zuqing and this girl. Of course, this refers to temperament. As for the vast land, Zhu Zuqing still has the advantage. God is fair. While giving her a beautiful face, he also closed a pair of windows for her. Seeing Dai Mubai coming over, Billet frowned. He always felt that this Dai Mubai came here to seek death. That's right, you can tell by looking at his eyes and smile. A moment later, Dai Mubai came to Navalet and Fukalos. The three of them were only a few meters apart. This beautiful lady, I have taken the liberty to come here, may I know your name? Dai Mubai made a noble salute, bowed slightly, put his right hand into a fist and put it on his heart. It looked like that. Fukalos and Navalet were stunned. They looked at each other, and Fukalos smiled. She really didn't expect that Dai Mubai would be so interesting. Fukalos, Navalet's fiancé. Fukalos smiled and said. Fukalos. As for the second half of the sentence, Dai Mubai selectively forgot it. Fiancé. Aren't you married yet? Haha, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Dai Mubai. I am a level 37 attack type fighting spirit. I wonder if I am qualified to have dinner with Miss Fukalos. After hearing this, Billet couldn't bear it anymore and was ready to teach this dandy prince a lesson. However, at some point, his hand was pulled by Fukalos, as if to tell him not to worry. Quote. Mr. Dai Mubai, if you want to invite me to dinner, you need to fulfill a condition. Fukalos smiled and said, with a stern look in his eyes. It is true that God loves the world and loves his own people. Unfortunately, there are no her people on Douluo Continent. God is also angry. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel Chapter 65, Fukalos takes action. Oh. I don't know what conditions need to be fulfilled. Dai is not talented and is willing to give it a try. Dai Mubai said he was not talented, but in fact he was overjoyed and his whole body started to get excited. You can tell from the raised corners of his mouth how happy he is at this moment. Condition. It's nothing more than gold soul coins or showing off one's own strength. These are all trivial matters to Dai Mubai. He had no idea that he would be in trouble. It's a very simple condition, as long as you can hold on for one stick of incense, that's fine. Fukalos smiled, with a hint of indifference beneath his smile. There is plenty of time to deal with this guy. How long does it take to hold a stick of incense? Dai Mubai was a little confused, as if he had heard this before. He remembered that Zhao Wuji seemed to have said this to Tang San and the others when they entered school. Them. No, it should be them now, right? Ha ha ha. When he thought of Tang San's current situation, Dai Mubai couldn't help but want to laugh. Of course, the matter in front of him was more important. As for Navalette, he is just a referee. I don't know what Miss Fukalos is talking about. How can I hold up the incense for a while? If you are fighting against the soul of Navalette next to you, let alone a stick of incense, how difficult is it to defeat him? As soon as Dai Mubai said this, both Villette and Fukalos fell silent, looking at Dai Mubai as if they were looking at a fool. Where is this guy's brain? Actually, Dai Mubai is not to blame for this. He thought that Villette was just a relative with some connections in the spirit fighting arena, and he didn't know the specific situation of Villette. Flanders once said, "Those who dare not cause trouble are mediocre." What is the relationship between the related households in the fighting spirit field? He knew that Villette, sneak attacked Tang San and knocked Tang San unconscious, but that was it. Tang San at that time was only level 29, and he, Dai Mubai, could do the same. There is no need to defeat Navalette, you just need to survive a stick of incense in my hands. Fukalos shook his head and said indifferently. After hearing this, Dai Mubai was stunned. He looked at Fukalos again. This girl looked young, but her tone was quite strong. Is it possible that she said that on purpose? Thinking of this, Dai Mubai became even more excited. Okay, let alone one stick of incense, even 2 sticks of incense are fine. Dai Mubai quickly agreed. No matter how strong Fukalos was, no matter how talented he was, he could only be a soul master at most, and how could he defeat him in such a short period of time? Well, since it's Master Dai Mubai who asked for it, just 2 sticks of incense will do. Fukalos did not refuse and nodded in agreement. Villette, who was watching the show, on the side, twitched his eyes, and when he looked at Dai Mubai, his eyes changed from murderous intent to sympathy. He is no match for Fukalos now. If he really fights with Fukalos, he might not be able to hold on even half a stick of incense. Dai Mubai, who is at the soul level, is really brave. To say he is stupid is to praise him. This is not a good place to take action. If we go to the soul fighting arena, we will trouble the staff who are preparing. Let's get out of the city. After saying this, Fukalos thought for a moment, and she remembered that there was an incense seller not far away. Navalette, buy me 2 sticks of incense to test Mr. Dai Mubai's courage. No problem. Navalette gave Dai Mubai a deep look, and then walked towards the place where the incense was sold. Dai Mubai. For some reason, he always felt that something was wrong. Which link did the problem occur? Dai Mubai couldn't say it again. Anyway, he always felt like he was being tricked. This Navalette is not low in strength. He is a majestic 3-ringed soul. Why didn't he go crazy? The more Dai Mubai thought about it, the more something was wrong, but he just couldn't explain it. Damn it, what's going on? At this moment, Navalette, the incense buyer, came back. Dai Mubai looked at the incense stick in Villette's hand, which was as tall as half a man, and fell into deep thought. Ordinary incense can be used for about a quarter of an hour, but the one in Villette's hand may not be able to burn even for 10 quarters of an hour, right? Let alone 2. Seeing this, Fukalos couldn't hold it back. PFF'd, and laughed out loud. The beautiful eyes were slightly narrowed, and the look in Navalette's eyes was even softer. This little guy is angry. Is he planning to beat Dai Mubai to death? Ha ha. Dai Mubai looked confused and looked at Fukalos and Navalette with some doubts. He thought of a possibility, but he felt vaguely that it was impossible. That means Villette and Fukalos will beat him and Dai Mubai. Of course, if this is the case, he, Dai Mubai, is not afraid. He is a 37th level soul master. If he can't be beaten, he can't run away either. Go and have a look and then talk about it. With a feeling of anxiety, Dai Mubai followed Navalette and Fukalos out of the city. Since he was beaten last time, he had some psychological shadow. Not long after, the 3 of them came to an open place and stopped. Navalette threw the incense in his hand casually, and then snapped his fingers with his left hand. The stick of incense ignited directly and was inserted straight into the ground. Dai Mubai's expression changed when he saw this. He didn't expect that Villette had such a skill. This control of soul power has probably reached its pinnacle. It was a miscalculation, this man cannot afford to offend. It's a pity that it's all here. My job is to be a referee, so let me announce the start of the spirit fight. No problem. No problem. The soul fighting begins. As the two agreed, Navalette did not hesitate and directly announced the start of the game, because the incense had already been lit. After the announcement, Villette walked away quietly. He was afraid that he would be accidentally injured later. Dai Mubai breathed a sigh of relief when he saw this. As long as the opponent was not besieging him, it would be fine. It was only Fukalos. Could it be that he, Dai Mubai, couldn't defeat him? Insist on 2 sticks of incense. It's impossible. Possessed by the white tiger. Dai Mubai was not careless and completed the possession of the martial soul in an instant. 3 soul rings, 2 yellow and 1 purple, quickly rose from his feet. His figure, possessed by the martial spirit, couldn't help but become taller. His hands turned into tiger palms, and his golden hair turned white under the possession of the martial spirit. On his forehead, a king appeared faintly. Character. Dai Mubai, martial spirit, white tiger with evil eyes, level 37 attack spirit master, please give me your advice. Fukalos does not have a martial spirit, but it is very simple for her to simulate such an effect without being noticed. He casually condensed a sword made of water elements and used it as a martial spirit for the time being. 3 aqua blue, soul rings, also appeared on Fukalos. Dai Mubai was confused. How could her soul ring be the same as Villette's? Fukalos, martial spirit, water, element sword, 30. 66. The 3, seafood, generals. Slippery Fukalos, you really don't have a blushing face when you tell lies. Navalette thought to himself. After thinking for a moment, Villette nodded secretly. That's right, this woman can deceive the laws of heaven. Naturally, she won't feel any burden when she talks about it. He seems to be the one who was deceived too. No, 10 children is still too few. I have to give birth to. Just when Navalette was thinking wildly, Fukalos had already made a name for himself. Fukalos, martial soul, water element sword, level 35 control type battle soul master. As for why the sword spirit is not of the attack type, Dai Mubai will know this later. Dai Mubai almost laughed out loud after learning that Fukalos had gained a soul power level 35. Ha ha ha. She is only level 35, yet she can talk so shamelessly about holding up a stick of incense. Who gave her the courage? Could it be that she really did this because she was disgusted with Navalette? Thinking of this, the corners of Dai Mubai's mouth raised slightly, and he suddenly became confident again. Sure enough, Dai Mubai is still very charming. Wait a minute, Fukalos just said that he is a control soul master. Dai Mubai looked at the sword in Fukalos' hand and fell into deep thought. Sword martial soul, control soul master. Let alone seeing it, I haven't even heard it yet. But he didn't know that 20,000 years later, the Tang sect had a pair of, the principal and deputy sect masters. They are all sword soul masters, the passionate sword and the ruthless sword, and they are also control soul masters. Moreover, the martial soul fusion skills they perform can even control god-level experts. That's how terrifying it is. Miss Fukalos, it's better for you to strike first, I'm afraid I'll hurt you. Dai Mubai raised the hair in front of his eyebrows with the index finger of his right hand and said with a smile. This Fukalos' soul power level is 2 levels lower than him. He looks weak, so there is no way he could be his opponent. Then I won't be polite. Fukalos said without changing his expression, and then the first soul ring flashed, and a ball of water elemental power slowly formed into a cute octopus wearing a gentleman's hat. The first soul skill. Come out, Lord Uther. This is not over yet. In Dai Mubai's surprised eyes, Fukalos' second soul ring and third soul ring flashed almost at the same time. Second soul skill, Mrs. Highway Ma. The third soul skill, Miss Xie Bailida. This is AQ version of seahorse and crab. They look very cute, and they both look very gentlemanly. Navalette. He took a breath of cold air. Isn't this Funina's elemental combat skill? In the game, after Fukalos died, Funina obtained an Eye of Water elemental god. One of the elemental combat skills is to summon the 3 seafood generals. After thinking for a moment, Villette shook his head. Fukalos is the **** of water. Besides, Funina is her human side. If she can do it, Fukalos will naturally do it too. Fukalos can do it, but Funina may not. Having said that, whether as a pure water elf or as a water god, pure hydrates are not too simple. At this time, Dai Mubai was a little confused. He looked at the three cute seafood floating in the air and became even more confused. This is Fukalos' soul skill. It just looks like that. It seems right for girls to like such creatures, but wouldn't this be too much of a waste of soul ring slots? Such a creature does not look like it is capable of fighting. Navalet's eyes twitched when he saw this. These three seafood generals are known as unreasonable, street sluts. They even slap Shugo who passes by. In my name. Seeing this, Fukalos had a faint smile on his face and didn't say much. When she finished speaking, the three seafood generals seemed to teleport and surrounded Dai Mubai. This scene made Dai Mubai look confused. What's going on? They can actually teleport. They look so cute, why did they teleport? Master Dai Mubai, you must stick to 2 sticks of incense. After saying this, Fukalos was not in the mood to continue standing where he was. Instead, he came to Navalet and waved his hand, and 2 bubbles appeared. Even though it was a bubble, when the 2 of them sat on it, it showed no signs of breaking. Navalet, how long do you think he can last? Almost, just 2 sticks of incense. The little guy has become smarter. Closing parenthesis. Navalet exhaled a breath, hugged Fukalos into his arms, and the 2 looked at each other. Fukalos, you are only a little older than me. After 10,000 years or 100,000 years, we will not be much different. That's not a little bigger. You. At this time, Dai Mubai had no intention of watching the couple show off their affection. Everyone else was numb. These 3 cute seafoods can not only teleport, but also spit bubbles to attack. At first, Dai Mubai thought that the power of the bubbles was not great. It was not until he was attacked and almost broke a rib that he realized that the strength of these 3 seafoods was so terrifying. These are the 3 seafood generals that Fukalos gathered based on Dai Mubai's strength. Their individual strength is just a little stronger than Dai Mubai's. With the 3 of them together, Dai Mubai naturally cannot be their opponent. I saw Miss Xie Bailita rushing forward with a water element hanging on the crab claws, and stabbed Dai Mubai's waist. This blow turned Dai Mubai's face into the color of pig liver. This crab has no martial ethics and actually attacks a place like this. Roar. Dai Mubai roared angrily, and the first and third soul rings flashed almost at the same time. The first soul skill, White Tiger Protective Barrier. The third soul skill, White Tiger Vajra Transformation. Using 2 amplification-like soul skills at the same time, Dai Mubai's figure increased a few points again. At this time, he had reached his peak state in terms of both strength and defense. It's just a summoned thing, but it can be incredible. Dai Mubai gritted his teeth and murmured, then waved his hand towards Miss Xie Bailda. The next moment, he was shocked. A crab claw pinched his wrist with such force that he could not move. Dai Mubai understood that he had underestimated these summons. He is also a man with plenty of fighting experience. His right hand was clamped, and he quickly used his left hand to slap Miss Shibarita on the head. It was too late, but soon, his left hand was clamped again. Quote. Lord Uther and Mrs. Highway Ma were not idle either. They released bubble attacks on Dai Mubai. The location of the attack was very tricky, that is, Dai Mubai's lower back. You know, this bubble attack almost caused Dai Mubai to break a rib in one blow. 67. If you don't talk about reason, then talk about physics. Navalet took a breath of cold air and focused on the 3 seafood generals. Their attack positions were really tricky. After this soul battle, Dai Mubai will probably be useless in the future, right? Ification. Dai Mubai screamed. Fortunately, he released the first and third soul skill amplification in advance, otherwise the 2 attacks just now could directly make him unconscious. Damn it, why is there such a soul skill? Damu's white people were all numb. His hands were clamped by Miss Xie Bailita, and he wanted to kick the opponent with his feet, but the opponent was floating in the air again. There was no way he could do anything. No solution anymore. The second soul skill, White Tiger Fierce Light Wave. This is Dai Mubai's only long-range skill so far. With his hands clamped, doesn't the opponent count as being restrained by him? At this time, when the white tiger releases the fierce light wave, can the opponent still avoid it? A white light wave erupted from Dai Mubai's mouth. He didn't believe that Miss Shibarita could avoid it. How could she avoid it at such a close distance? Miss Xie Bei Lida did not hide, but to Dai Mubai's disappointment, his white tiger fierce light wave seemed to have no effect on Miss Xie Bei Lida. On it, a thin layer of aqua blue shield directly blocked all this soul skill. Question mark question mark question mark quote. Dai Mubai turned around and looked at the incense that was not burning much. He felt numb. Is it still too late to admit defeat now? Originally, he thought that it would be Fukalos and Navalette who would attack him, but he never expected that the two of them did not take action at all. Instead, they just sat aside and watched the show. Of course, Dai Mubai was still beaten by 3 seafood. These two guys are so ruthless. This refers to Lady Hiwaima and Lord Uther. They have launched an attack on Dai Mubai again. After a moment, Dai Mubai, with a bruised nose and swollen face, appeared in the field of vision. He had a look of despair on his face. His hands were tied and he could not move. He could only bear the attack of 2 seafoods. Each blow has Soul Master level combat power. Let me go, I was wrong. Dai Mubai cried. The last time he was beaten, he still had the strength to resist. This time, he couldn't even resist. It's really this Miss Shibarita, damn crab, it's so powerful. If possible, give Dai Mubai a chance, he will never want to see seafood in his life. Master Dai Mubai, the time for burning this stick of incense is less than 1/10. By the way, there is still 1 stick of incense left. Fukalos' expression remained unchanged and he said gently. She is so gentle and has a smile on her face. However, when these words reached Dai Mubai's ears, they sounded like an evil spirit asking for his life, making him tremble uncontrollably. Just when Dai Mubai was about to accept his fate, a voice sounded. Young master, miss, please be merciful and merciful. Dai Mubai has already been punished, please let him go. After the words fell, a middle-aged man with glasses and black wings on his back appeared in front of Fukalos and Navalette. 2 yellows, 2 purples and 3 blacks represent that the person in front of you is a powerful soul saint with the best soul ring matching. Dai Mubai cried when he saw the person coming. This is the savior, the Dean. So touching. Suddenly, Dai Mubai seemed to have thought of something and became very hard-headed again. This is the 78th level War Soul Saint. With him as the backstage, does Dai Mubai still need to be afraid? Dean, save me. They don't follow martial ethics. Ignoring Dai Mubai's plea for help, Flanders had no intention of coming out, but Dai Mubai was in such a miserable condition. This injury has just been healed. After this time, I am afraid I will have to live there for another month. Mr. Flanders, are you finally willing to come out? Villette said without changing his expression. He and Fukalos had already discovered Flanders' existence, but they had never revealed it. From the moment they walked out of Soto City, Flanders had been following the 3 of them, probably because he was afraid that Dai Mubai would suffer a loss. Hearing this, Flanders glanced at Villette in surprise, and his face changed wildly. Although Flanders and Navalette have only met once, based on his understanding of Navalette, this person is not the kind of person who likes to talk big. Since he said that, he must have discovered him a long time ago. You must know that Flanders is a level 78 agility-based combat soul saint. With his cultivation level, even a powerful soul saint of the same level, let alone a mere soul saint, may not be able to detect him. Something is wrong, very wrong. Suddenly, a terrifying coercion suddenly appeared, and the hot breath made the air slightly distorted. Flanders was instantly sweating profusely, breaking out in cold sweat, and almost fell to his knees directly. Fortunately, he had strong willpower and after reacting, he didn't make a fool of himself. If you make a mistake, your skills are inferior to others. Then, you must stand upright when you admit a mistake, and stand upright when you are beaten. That's right, Flanders, the Dean of Shrek Academy. Lexius walked out from the side with a dark face. He was not far away from where he lived. He still knew what happened. Of course, it doesn't matter why this happened, because his grandson and grandson's wife are definitely not the kind of people who like to cause trouble. Besides, what's wrong with causing trouble? Seeing the person coming, Flanders' eyes widened, and he subconsciously took 3 steps back. The corners of his eyes twitched, and he said in a trembling voice, Feng, title Douluo. When he saw Lexius' ninth spirit ring, Flanders became even more frightened. The red and the black all shows that this soul ring is very close to 100,000 years old. Can a strong man who can hunt such soul beasts be provoked by a soul-breaking saint like him? Grandfather. Navalette and Fukalos stood up from the bubble at this time. The old man came about a minute ago, but he just didn't show up. Dai Mubai, Flanders. Flanders looked at Dai Mubai who was still being beaten, and the corners of his eyes twitched. How come this guy keeps offending people with titled Douluo backstage recently? It is true that he is the prince of Xingluo, but he is just an abandoned son. Even his father, Emperor Xingluo, cannot offend a titled Douluo at will. First he had a quarrel with Ning Rongrong, offending Jian and Bone Douluo in disguise. This time, I don't know which title he offended. Dai Mubai opened his mouth slightly, but stopped talking. At this time, he had forgotten the pain in his body. Grandson's daughter-in-law, don't worry, I'm here, this powerful soul saint will be able to reason. When speaking of this, Lexius glanced at Flanders and continued, really, Flanders. Ah, yes, be reasonable, be reasonable. What can Flanders do? Are you talking about physics instead of reasoning? The corners of Villette and Fukalos' eyes twitched, this Flanders is really quick. The arrogance and demeanor of the predecessors before. Chapter 68. Injure, treat, and continue beating. Flander learned his lesson very quickly, just like the last time Zhao Wuji was beaten by Tang Hao. The other party had no intention of killing Mubai. Mubai was the one who caused this in the first place. He deserves to suffer some physical pain. If the three of them had the intention to kill Dai Mubai, then Dai Mubai would not have been beaten at all, but would have been dead. Flanders looked at Navalette carefully. The young master once bought a broken crystal from him, and he still remembered it. At first, Flanders thought that Villette might just be in the spirit fighting arena and had some status, but he never expected that behind him, there was a strong man at the level of a titled Douluo. In the past, titled Douluo were rare to see, and there were only a few in the entire Douluo continent. Now, in less than 2 months, he, Flanders, had seen 2 of them. They are all those extremely powerful titled Douluo. Let's not talk about Tang Hao. He has 100,000-year soul ring and is famous. This person in front of him is definitely not much worse than Tang Hao. Facing Lexius, Flanders feels a bit more pressure than when facing Tang Hao. This is also normal. Flanders' martial spirit is the 4-eyed cat eagle, while Lexius' martial spirit is the golden crow. Facing Lexius, he is inherently inferior by a few levels. At the same time that he was completely defeated, his soul power level was still 2 levels lower than Lexius. It's not surprising that Flanders feels this way. I heard before that your Shrek Academy is unreasonable. When Lexius said this, cold sweat kept falling from Flanders' forehead. It was that ***** who was talking nonsense. He, Flanders, is the most reasonable. Your Majesty, this must be. Before Flanders could finish speaking, Lexius waved his hand, interrupted Flanders, and continued, when I saw him today, the rumors were untrue. Shrek Academy is quite reasonable. Ah. Yes. Your Majesty, we at Shrek Academy are the most reasonable. Flanders said without tears, people under the eaves have to bow their heads. This old man who looks like a middle-aged man is as strong as the ocean. Even 10 Flanders can't beat him. It's easier to be reasonable, so let's fulfill their agreement first. Yes. What else could Flanders say? He could only nod and bow. Dai Mubai had already accepted his fate when he saw the 9 soul rings on Lexius. You said you have such a backstage, please tell me earlier. Isn't it okay for me, Dai Mubai, to walk around? Time passed, and Flanders just watched Dai Mubai being beaten, anxious and helpless. Dai Mubai was really in trouble today. What makes him feel a little strange is that logically speaking, every attack of the 3 seafood generals has reached the soul level. With Dai Mubai's strength, he can't withstand it for long. However, Dai Mubai kept screaming, full of energy, and never stopped. Suddenly, Flanders suddenly realized. Every time Dai Mubai was about to be unable to hold on any longer, a green light would flash in the field. Then, Dai Mubai seemed to have regained some strength and continued the next reincarnation. Quote. Flender turned his head slightly and looked at Fukalos, who was smiling. This girl is a devil. Not only did he beat Dai Mubai, but he also helped Dai Mubai recover from his injuries and then continued to beat him. This is murderous and heartbreaking. Also, it's been more than an hour, right? Why can her soul power persist for so long? Flanders fell into deep thought. I was wrong. Let me go. Dai Mubai is numb, really numb. Every time he couldn't hold on any longer, he suddenly felt that there was a force healing him. When his injury was almost healed, he continued to beat him. This has happened several times. This girl's heart is darker than Ning Rongrong's. However, no matter how Dai Mubai shouted, no one paid attention to him, and Flanders even closed his eyes in pain. Let you cause trouble, but I didn't let you cause such a thing. You bully the weak and fear the strong. Do you know what a soft persimmon is? Approximately 2 hours later, the second incense burnt out, and the 3 seafood generals also quickly disappeared at this time, as if they had never appeared. Flanders had a look of fear on her face. It had been more than 3 hours. She had been using her soul skills continuously for such a long time, and she looked like a perfectly fine person. Each attack by those summoned objects is equivalent to a blow from the Soul Master. She has not released one soul skill, but 3. In this case, there is no lack of soul power at all. Even if he, the Soul Saint, saw it, his scalp would go numb. The time has come, Mr. Dai Mubai, do you want to say something? Fukalos walked forward with a smile on his face and said. Hearing these words, Dai Mubai trembled all over, and a glimmer of light suddenly appeared in his lackluster eyes. He felt that if he didn't answer, today's matter might not end. I was wrong, really wrong, there will never be a next time. After saying this, Dai Mubai's eyes darkened and he fainted. There was a force that was healing him before, but in the last period of time, this force never appeared again. When Navalette saw this, he always felt that what Fukaros said before, resurrecting the unhappy one before killing him, was not a joke. Lexius nodded with satisfaction. This granddaughter-in-law was much more powerful than he thought. She had the same soul ring and the same attributes as Villette. If they had not had any relationship before, Lexius would not have believed it. Well, Your Majesty, young master, young lady, Mubai is already like this, or else? Flender asked tentatively. If the other party didn't speak, he wouldn't dare to take Dai Mubai away. It's a pity that Mr. Dai Mubai couldn't hold on to 2 sticks of incense. Old gentleman, please take him away. By the way, if Mr. Dai Mubai still has such thoughts, you can come and tell me. Next time, just if only he could hold on to 1 stick of incense. Fukalos said without changing his expression. His voice was gentle, but after Flanders heard this, his whole body was shaken. This was a nod to Flanders. It means that he has no discipline. Next time, Dai Mubai will definitely not survive next time. Letting Dai Mubai and him go this time is because the other person is kind-hearted. The world of Soul Masters is originally a place where the weak prey on the strong. Soul Masters fight each other over disagreements and face each other to the death. This is completely normal. Just beating Dai Mubai like this did not harm his life. Isn't this the other party's kindness? Thank you, miss, thank you, your majesty, thank you, sir. Mubai will never dare to do it again, I, Flanders, promise. If Dai Mubai still dares, he, Flanders, will not be able to jump out even if he says anything. Who is this person? It has nothing to do with him. 69. Navalette's decision. After Flanders took away the seriously injured Dai Mubai, Lexius said, this man's martial spirit is very similar to the inherited martial spirit of the Star Luo royal family. If I guess correctly, he should be Dai Mubai, the 3rd prince who fled the Star Luo Empire 3 years ago. Grandson, grandson's wife, how did he provoke you? The Star Luo Empire has been inherited for tens of thousands of years. Lexius naturally knows the inherited martial arts of the other royal family. The most important thing is Dai Mubai's eyes. Heterochromatic pupils are so iconic. Whether it is the Tiando Empire or the Star Luo Empire, as long as it is a slightly larger city, there will be a spirit fighting arena. The fighting spirit arena is a mixed bag, and a lot of interesting news can be learned every day. Although the 8 major families don't care about the direction of Douluo Continent, they don't care about who dominates the continent. However, everyone will record some Interesting, news and tell it at the annual meeting to make everyone laugh. Yes, it is to make everyone laugh. They are fighting life and death. Who wins and who loses? What does it have to do with the soul fighting field? For the Duhun arena, these news are just after dinner fun. Navalette and Fukalos looked at each other, and in the end, Navalette told what happened. After hearing what happened, Lexius was furious. If he knew that this was the case, how could he have let Dai Mubai and Flanders leave just now? Just set it on fire and it will be over. Grandson and granddaughter-in-law are so kind-hearted. After thinking for a while, Lexius decided that it would be better to tell Villette privately about some things. It is okay for his grandson-in-law to be kind-hearted, but not for his kind-hearted Villette. It's just an abandoned son, what's the harm in killing him? With no one aware of it, can the Xinglo royal family still find evidence? As for why he told Navalette in private, it was because Fukalos was still here. How could he reprimand a man in front of his wife? Suddenly, Lexius seemed to have thought of something, and his eyes lit up. In the morning, he was still struggling with whether to share the two, self-created soul skills, with the other 7 families. In the end, Lexius couldn't decide. He wanted to let Fukalos and Navalette, who provided the two, self-created soul skills, decide whether to share them or not. By the way, grandson's wife, that is, the matter of self-created soul skills, do we want to share it with the other 7 families? Our 8 major families have been in the same spirit for 1,000 or 2,000 years. We don't have many secrets to talk about. However, one of these 2 self-created soul skills is too precious. Before Lexius could finish his words, Villette was stunned for a moment and said, Grandpa, you can decide this matter yourself. It's not a precious thing anyway. For Navalette and Fukalos, these 2 Tang sect secrets are indeed not precious things. Besides, these 2 Tang sect secret arts are not much different from the ones they picked up. There is no need to cause conflicts because of these little things. Well, I just couldn't make up my mind, so I wanted to ask you. After all, you brought this thing back. Lexius said with some embarrassment. Things he regarded as a treasure were not considered good things to Navalette. Let's share it, don't make people's hearts complicated because of little things. After hearing this, Lexius took a deep look at Villette. He did not expect that Villette would understand this truth at such a young age. After thinking about it, it's right, because if this little thing makes people's hearts complicated, it will be difficult to lead this team in the future. Okay, I originally decided to meet these old guys during the annual meeting. In that case, I'd better go shopping in advance. Time passed, and it was night in a flash. After saying goodbye to Lexius, Villette and Fukalos returned to the spirit fighting arena. Fukalos had nothing to do, and Villette had to be the referee at night. After nightfall, Navalette once again set foot on the soul fighting field. How much joy and how much sadness. In Shrek Academy, everyone gathered around Dai Mubai's hospital bed. Not even 2 days after he got out of the hospital bed, this guy was lying back down again. Flanders, what's going on? How could Xiaobai be beaten like this? The person who spoke was none other than Zhao Wuji, the Fudoming king who was less than 1.7 meters tall. He had been recuperating since he was injured by Tang Hao, and it took him 2 days to almost recover. Seeing Flanders carrying the seriously injured Dai Mubai back, Zhao Wuji felt numb all over. Other than that guy Tang Hao, who in this mere Soto city dares to educate the people of Shrek Academy like this? Hey, don't ask, this matter will be over when it is over. Flender waved his hand, indicating that he did not want to say more. So what if you tell them, can you still go to others for revenge? That is a powerful person at the level of titled Douluo. Let alone Zhao Wuji, even the entire Shrek Academy combined is not enough for him to fight with one hand. After hearing this, Zhao Wuji's expression changed, and he looked at Flanders with a somewhat dissatisfied look. Flanders, as Xiaobai's dean and teacher. Are you so irresponsible? Zhao Wuji had no idea of the seriousness of the matter. He just felt worthless for Dai Mubai. You know, no matter how much fun they have, Dai Mubai always respects him very much, and invites him to drink and eat with Zhao Wuji from time to time. Dai Mubai was in trouble, so he should help Dai Mubai to support him, right? What Lao Zhao said makes sense. Flanders, what exactly is going on? Li Yusong said at this time. When Flanders saw this, his eyes twitched. Since they want to know and take revenge, then give them a chance. By the way, when you go to take revenge, don't say you know me, Flanders. As long as you step out of Shrek Academy, I will escape from Shrek Academy immediately. Flanders said expressionlessly, which made Zhao Wuji, Li Yusong and others confused. What's the situation? This is what happened. Flanders told what happened. He had seen the whole process completely. There was no embellishing of anything, it was said exactly as it was. When they heard that there was a titled Douluo behind Navelet and Fukalos, the faces of everyone present changed. Especially Zhao Wuqi, whose face was as black as carbon. If the other party didn't have the intention to kill, the Flanders and Dai Mubai you see now might have been a pile of ashes. No, maybe even the ashes won't be left. Everyone took a breath, and then you looked at me, and I looked at you. By the way, my injury is not healed yet. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel 70. Demon God, goodness and destruction coexist. My injury hasn't healed yet and I need to take care of it, so I'm going back first. Well, there's nothing I can do about this kind of thing now. Zhao Wuji touched his head and it was still there. After saying this, he took a deep look at Flanders, seemed to have made some kind of decision, and walked towards the dormitory without looking back. No wonder Flanders would make such a decision. Hell, it's not good to offend anyone, you have to offend someone you can't afford to offend. Dai Mubai. Who is that? Zhao Wuji doesn't know him at all. Of course, if something really happened, Zhao Wuji would not back down. Isn't it true that something happened? As long as Dai Mubai is still alive, it is impossible for him to do anything that would lead to death. Ahem, it feels like it's going to rain. My rheumatism is a bit unbearable. By the way, I still need to put on my clothes. Li Yusong was talking to himself, but he unconsciously walked towards the door. As soon as he walked out of the door, he ran away without looking back. The rice is still cooking. Where did I put my chessboard? Seeing everyone leaving, Flanders's forehead was covered with black lines. Can these guys be more reliable? At this time, they are still joking. Even if you don't say anything, if you insist on asking, it still seems that Flanders doesn't have the responsibility of the dean. What's the result? What's the use of saying it? These guys can run faster than anyone else. Flanders, that titled Douluo you just mentioned, the flames on his body distorted the air. Yu Shaogang said with an unchanging expression. Unlike others, he was more concerned about this titled Douluo who suddenly appeared. Shaogang, what are you doing? It's nothing. Please tell me carefully about the characteristics of the titled Douluo after he was possessed by the martial spirit. I always feel that your majesty is very unusual. Yu Shaogang said without blushing and his heart not beating. Flanders' eyes twitched. How many simple ones can cultivate to the level of titled Douluo? You feel very unusual. Facing the question of his good brother, Flanders still said it. Although Yu Shaogang's strength was not as good as his, Yu Shaogang's knowledge was not comparable to that of Flanders. Yu Shaogang is the son of the leader of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon sect, and the current pope, Ahem. This titled Douluo, when possessed by a martial spirit, the flames on his body are enough to distort the air, and the golden wings on his back are also burning with golden flames. No, what should I say? By the way, the color of the sun. Besides, after listening to Flanders' story, Yu Shaogang's eyes narrowed, his whole body trembled, and he said subconsciously, I probably know what your majesty's martial spirit is. This kind of martial spirit has not been fought for many, many years. It has appeared on Luo Continent. If my guess is correct, the martial spirit of this crown prince is either a golden crow martial spirit that can compete with a pure fire phoenix, or it is the legendary incarnation of the sun, a three-legged golden crow martial spirit. According to my estimation, Mian Shah's martial spirit should be one of the top martial spirits, the golden crow, and not the three-legged golden crow, because the human body cannot possibly carry the three-legged golden crow martial spirit. Seeing what Yu Shaogang said was so powerful, Flanders was stunned for a moment. So, is that person so powerful? Shaogang, do you know the other party's name? Have no idea. Yu Shaogang shook his head and said very directly. If it weren't for the books in the Wuhun Palace, he wouldn't even know what the Golden Crow martial spirit is, let alone the title Douluo of the Golden Crow martial spirit. Wait, something is wrong. Flanders, you said the other party is from the Soul Fighting Arena. Yu Shaogang asked doubtfully. He still knows some information about the 8 major families. There should be no titled Douluo among these forces. If the other party is really from the 8 great families, why should they hide the fact that they have a titled Douluo? I'm not sure, but Villette is indeed the referee of the soul fighting arena, and the person who crowns him is his grandfather, so he must be from the soul fighting arena. Flender thought for a moment and said. Is that so? Yu Shaogang touched his chin and fell into deep thought. He felt that the other party was not from the soul fighting arena, and that sending his grandson to the soul fighting arena was just for training, or that the young man named Navalette just wanted to have fun in the soul fighting arena. It should be like this. With Yu Shaogang's intelligence, he will not make mistakes in judgment. Whether the other party is from the soul fighting arena or not, since the other party has let Mubai go, it means that the matter is over. Flender slowly exhaled a breath and said. I'm tired, I'm really tired. As a dean, you have to be on guard every day, beware of titled Douluo looking for trouble. He can no longer be the dean. He is just a little soul saint. After hearing this, Yu Shaogang didn't say anything. Dai Mubai's matter had nothing to do with him. As long as Tang San has no problems, it will be fine. Yu Shaogang had no idea that his disciple Tang San had been beaten up by Navalette just last night. After Yu Shaogang left, Ma Hongjun and Oscar walked in with confused expressions. They looked at Dai Mubai, who was still lying in bed and was unconscious. Their eyes twitched involuntarily. Dai Mubai has only been out of bed for 2 days. He went up again. Oscar, Ma Hongjun, you have to remember that when you go out, try not to cause trouble if you can. After glancing at Dai Mubai, Flanders looked serious and spoke to the two of them seriously. Dean, teacher, didn't you tell us that those who dare not cause trouble are mediocre? Oscar and Ma Hongjun didn't even think about it, they almost blurted it out. As soon as these words came out, Flanders' face turned even darker. It is mediocre to dare not cause trouble, but it is stupid to cause trouble randomly. That's what he said, but don't these guys have any understanding at all? Can't you bully soul masters who have no background and are lower in strength than you? This is what happens when you cause trouble. Flanders pointed at Dai Mubai and continued, he provoked people who shouldn't be provoked, and I could only stand there and watch Dai Mubai being beaten and educated, like a grandson. I don't even dare to speak loudly. Do you know why this is? After a 2-second pause, Flanders continued, that's because my skills are not as good as others. They are the top beings on the continent, and the martial arts are also the top beings. I can't afford to offend them at all. Because I am not as strong as others. The same is true for you. Dai Mubai was beaten like this, but she was just a girl who looked younger than him. Do you know? Even I feel ashamed when facing this girl. She is kind and cruel at the same time. The reason why she is kind is because she let us go and obviously had the opportunity to destroy the body and eliminate all traces. She is cruel. Do you know how long Dai Mubai was beaten? 71. My earthly heart cannot afford to travel in vain. It's more than 3 hours. Wait until Dai Mubai is seriously injured, then treat him. After he is almost recovered, continue to fight. Thinking of that scene, Flanders shuddered. What kind of prisoner deserves to be treated like this? Ma Hongjun and Oscar were trembling at this time, their eyes filled with fear. It was so scary, so scary. Brother Dai, life is worse than death. No wonder the dean would change the school rules overnight, that's what happened. Dean, teacher, we understand, we will never cause trouble. The two of them nodded quickly and kept this in mind. Shrek Academy's reputation is not very good to begin with. Because of this school rule, students from each class have caused more or less trouble around Soto City in the past 20 years. As little things add up, Shrek's reputation is naturally not very good. The City Lord's Mansion and Wuhun Palace want to take care of it, but the combat power of Shrek Academy is too strong. Because of some trivial matters, it is not worth offending these strong men. Therefore, as long as it is not a serious matter of murder and arson, they will turn a blind eye and not bother to care. If you really want to take action, Wuhun Palace does not have Contra and titled Douluo. As long as the Wuhun Palace sends a few soul saints, the problem can be solved, but these trivial matters are really not worth sending out these adults. The City Lord's Mansion, that's out of intention. This is also one of the reasons why Shrek Academy has enjoyed a happy life to this day. Shrek's students also insist on only causing trouble, not killing people and setting fires, not being strong, ahem. You just understand my painstaking efforts. In the past, I took it too much for granted, and I was also wrong. I thought that in a small place like Soto City, there might be someone stronger than us. I don't know why, these strong men like to live in seclusion in small places like this. Flender is really tired. In Soto City, it is rare to see a powerful soul emperor, but he met a titled Douluo with 9 soul rings. Please avoid causing trouble when you go out in the future. I, Flanders, can't handle it. Yes, Dean, teacher. After a while, Ma Hongjun and Oscar walked out of the room with solemn expressions. They discovered today that the dean who was fearless in Soto City was sometimes afraid. Looking at this scene, the two of them felt as if the sky had fallen. You must know that Flanders is the strongest person they have ever seen. Level 78 Soul Saint Powerhouse. At this moment, a terrifying and boundless sword intent came from the sky. I saw an old man wearing a white robe and a huge sword at his feet. He was looking down with anger and murderous intent. All members of Shrek were shocked. Daimubai is still unconscious and unresponsive. Flanders, take Daimubai and get out. The old man looked upright and scolded. His voice resounded throughout Shrek Academy. This little Shrek Academy has actually made his precious granddaughter suffer. Is it possible that he won't find trouble? After Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zuqing returned to Qibao Glazed Sect, Ning Fengji, Chen Xin, and Ji Yu Rong all became numb. This young lady wooed a genius for the first time. What was the result? Bringing back the possibility of becoming the queen of the Star Luo Empire in the future. Even if the third prince has little hope or no hope, it is still possible to succeed. Even if it is only 1/10,000th. But since everyone has come, it's impossible to send them out again, right? In that case, how will the people in the world view his Qibao Glazed Sect? You invite people to join the sect and then drive them away. What the asterisk is that like? Because of this matter, the three of them held a meeting. It was naturally impossible to send Zhu Zuqing away. Not only that, we must also do what we promised Zhu Zuqing. The Qibao Glazed Sect is the most particular about integrity. In the end, the three of them decided to let Sword Douluo go to the Star Luo Empire to give him a big gift, and finally explain the reason for the matter. This time, Qibao Glazed Sect could not be called a major hemorrhage, but it was almost the same. Ning Rongrong was imprisoned because of this, and was not allowed to come out until she reached the Soul Master. As for Zhu Zuqing, she enjoyed the treatment of an inner disciple. She was a genius after all, and the 7 Treasures Glazed Sect did lack geniuses. After Zhu Zuqing's matter is resolved, Chen Xin will have time to come to Shrek Academy to find trouble. The Qibao Glazed Sect must have a titled Douluo sitting in charge. As the sect leader, Ning Fengji also needs a titled Douluo to protect him when he goes out. During this period, Ning Fengji, the sect leader, was also in confinement, unable to go out. Feeling the boundless sword intent, everyone in Shrek was confused. What's going on? Didn't Dai Mubai offend a titled Douluo who used fire? What's going on with the sword wielder? Only Flanders and Yu Shaogang vaguely guessed who the visitor was. Flender looked at Dai Mubai with a wry smile, and then took him outside the house with the bed. Your Majesty Sword Douluo, I am Flanders, and the one lying down is none other than Dai Mubai, a student of Shrek Academy. Seeing this, Chen Xin came to the ground in a daze. He looked at Dai Mubai and then at Flanders. Quote. No, Rongrong said that when they left Shrek Academy, they beat Dai Mubai violently. It's been more than a month, right, and Dai Mubai's injury is still so serious. The medical conditions here are quite poor. After a long while, Chen Xin said something faintly. Flender. No, this kid's injuries should have been caused a few hours ago and have nothing to do with Rongrong and the others. Chen Xin was indeed a titled Douluo. After taking a closer look, he discovered Dai Mubai's problem. This injury definitely cannot be from more than a month ago. To be honest, Your Majesty, Mubai's injury healed only the day before yesterday. There was an accident today and he was beaten like this. Flanders said, truthfully. After hearing this, Chen Xin's eyes twitched and his mouth opened slightly. He wanted to say something, but couldn't. Some people are really confused. does the third prince of the Star Luo Empire like to seek death so much? This time, Chen Xin's purpose was not to kill anyone, he wanted to teach the rebellious third prince a lesson. Who never expected that he would be late. This prince was almost beaten to death. Chen Xin looked at Dai Mubai, then at Flanders, and said quietly, I'm here this time to seek justice for my granddaughter. My granddaughter with a dusty heart cannot be bullied by anyone. Since this kid is injured, I can't run away in vain, otherwise the world will laugh at me, so let you, the dean, take his place. Teaching is not strict and the teacher is lazy. The main problem lies with you, Flanders. After hearing this, Flanders, who was still a little lucky, immediately accepted his fate. 7 killings and shocking thunder. Ask for a wave of monthly tickets, add more tomorrow, in the code word. Please. Chapter 72. 7 kills, thunder arose, and a sword pierced the sky. Flanders' whole body was numb. Big brother, am I, a mere soul sage, worthy of your use of soul skills? This is not to educate me, but to kill me, right? At the beginning, Chen Xin was indeed planning to destroy Shrek. This liar academy should not exist in the world. However, looking at the Buddha's face without looking at the monk's face, Dai Mubai, the good-for-nothing prince, is currently studying at Shrek Academy, and everything started because of Dai Mubai. Now that Dai Mubai has been seriously injured, it is naturally impossible for Chen Xin to beat Dai Mubai to death openly and honestly. In that case, the matter will be serious. It is necessary to teach Dean Flanders a lesson. Kill the chicken to scare the monkey. He wants the world to know that not everyone can bully Ning Rongrong. 7 kills caused thunder, and 1 sword cut through the sky. In an instant, the sword energy stretched 300 meters across, and most of the entire Shrek Academy was shrouded in Chen Xin's sword energy. Subsequently, these sword chi soared into the sky and turned into a sword, formed by sword chi. When Flanders saw this, his back felt cold, he broke out in cold sweat, and his calves kept trembling. His expression was a little dull. Is this the power of a titled Douluo? Just the momentum is far beyond what soul saints like them can match. Flanders wanted to run away, but his body froze in place. He knew that if the other party just taught him a lesson, he might still survive. If Flanders ran away, then it would be impossible for anyone to survive. The teachers and students of Shrek Academy took a breath of cold air. This was the first time they saw a titled Douluo take action. Wait a minute, the target of this titled Douluo seems to be their Dean Flanders. Go. As Chen Xin finished speaking, the giant sword, cut through the sky, fell from it, and slashed towards Flanders. Ginant made in time. Flanders was stunned on the spot, not daring to resist in the slightest, and even less daring to move. What if his sword was deflected a little and killed him? It seemed like a long time passed, but in fact it was just an instant. The giant sword fell towards Flanders' right arm. At the same time that Flanders' right arm was broken, a trench of about 100 meters appeared in Shrek Academy. I'll cut off one of your arms as punishment. If you don't accept it, you can go to the Qibao glazed sect to find me at any time. After Chen Xin said this indifferently, he did not stop and was ready to leave with his sword. He took a deep look at Dai Mubai. This kid was destined to die. He thought about it for a while and finally gave up the idea of teaching Dai Mubai a lesson. Then he took the sword and left. Dean, teacher, Flanders, how are you? After Chen Xin left, Zhao Wuji, Li Yusong, Ma Hongjun, Oscar and others all came over. Their faces were pale, obviously they were frightened. Flanders remained silent and stared blankly in the direction Chen Xin was leaving. Many years later, every time Flanders, who was living in seclusion in the mountains, thought about today, he wanted to slap himself twice. What are you doing teaching those fallacies and heresies? A student has caused trouble, and he, the dean, is too weak to handle it. One day, two titled Douluo made him feel the threat of death. Actually, I shouldn't have opened Shrek Academy from the beginning. Flanders murmured. Chen Xin's sword was so fast that he couldn't react at all. However, it was precisely because it was too fast that his arm was broken. So far, Flanders has not felt any pain. As a soul master, his right arm was missing. Although his cultivation was not affected, his combat effectiveness was greatly reduced. Not only that, in the future, breakthroughs in cultivation will be much, much slower than before. I'm fine, Chen Xinmian will be merciful. Flanders said without changing his expression. As for seeking revenge from Chen Xin, he has no hope in this life. He is a famous sword Douluo with a soul power level as high as 96. Who does he, Flanders, count? What kind of title Douluo is this? It's 2. Before Ma Hongjun could cry and curse, Flanders shouted, Hongjun, be careful what you say. After hearing this, Ma Hongjun immediately covered his mouth to prevent himself from speaking. He didn't expect that the teacher was still teaching them not to cause trouble in the future, but the parents came to the door and chopped off one of his teacher's hands without saying a word. Hey, Xiao Xin, help Flanders stop the bleeding and bandage it. Zhao Wuji sighed. His opponent was a titled Douluo. Even if they wanted to help, they couldn't help him. The other party obviously won't listen to the reasoning of weaklings like them, so cutting off Flanders' hand can be regarded as showing mercy. Zhao Wuji lowered his head and glanced at the trench that was 100 meters long, and cold sweat fell from his forehead. This was not a soul saint at all, even a being that could be an enemy of Soul Douluo. Suddenly, Zhao Wuji seemed to have thought of something, and asked Oscar, who looked a little dull at the side, Oscar, where are Tang San and Xiao Wu? When Dai Mubai was seriously injured and sent back by Flanders, he did not see these two people. Now, the titled Douluo came to the door and almost destroyed the courtyard, but I still didn't see these two people, which was strange. Could they also imitate Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zuqing and run away? After hearing this, Oscar came back to his senses. Teacher Zhao, I don't know. I have been with Ma Hongjun today. Oscar subconsciously said that he really didn't know the specific situation of Tang San and Xiao Wu. Yu Xiaogang, who was silent and had a complicated expression on the side, changed his expression when he heard the word Tang San. Yes, why didn't he see Tang San? Flender was injured. Although Yu Xiaogang was heartbroken, there was nothing he could do about it, but Tang San couldn't let anything happen to him. Quick, go to the dormitory and look for it. Yu Xiaogang said quickly. Anyone can have trouble, but his hopes, his works, and his disciples can't have trouble. With such a big movement, even if you are dead asleep, you still have to get up, right? Zhao Wuji curled his lips and murmured speechlessly. Tang San can't run away, he hasn't avenged Zhao Wuji yet. Xiao Wu, is there no movement on Tang San's side? They knew it when Chen Xin set foot at Shrek Academy. How could they not feel the chilling sword energy? Xiao Wu didn't dare to leave the dormitory at all. She hid under the bed and shivered. That was the aura of a titled Douluo. Once a titled Douluo discovers her, she will be in danger of death. Tang San is still staying at the door of Xiao Wu's dormitory. The blue-silver grass spirit in his right hand has been released. Facing such enemies, it's time for Tang San to prove that he can protect Xiao Wu. Xiao Wu, I will protect you, don't be afraid, and don't come out. After Tang San said something to Xiao Wu, he waited at the door for this strong enemy to come. As a result, this strong enemy struck with his sword. 73. Why are you hiding from me? With Chen Xin's sword strike, Tang San stood stunned on the spot. After coming to Douluo Continent for so many years, this is the first time he has seen such a powerful person. His terror can be felt from afar. Can I really protect Xiao Wu? Looking back at the door panel behind him, Tang San fell into deep thought, his body trembling. There is excitement and fear. There is such a strong person in the world. He, Tang San, is the proud son of heaven, and he may not be able to surpass him in the future. As for why he is afraid, if a strong man like the other party is killed at this time, there will be no future. Facing such a terrifying sword, Tang San murmured, he is definitely a strong man at the level of titled Douluo, the kind of existence in legend. Growing up in Holy Soul Village, Tang San heard the story of Soul Saint the most. A powerful soul saint can be praised for more than 100 years, but what about a living titled Douluo? Isn't he the legendary titled Douluo? After waiting for a long time, seeing that the titled Douluo seemed to be gone, Tang San took back his martial spirit, and at the same time, he also breathed a sigh of relief. It's a good thing that he doesn't have to face such a strong person. Now he can't defeat even the Soul Lord Navalette, so how can he face such a strong person? Of course, Tang San still didn't admit that he would lose to Navalite, he just thought that Navalite attacked him sneakily and showed no martial ethics. To carry out a sneak attack while occupying a favorable location is simply the work of a villain. If it weren't for this, Tang San would never lose. Looking at the door panel again, seeing that the door was still closed, Tang San said with some disappointment, Xiaowu still doesn't want to come out. In desperation, Tang San shook his head. Just when he was about to find out what happened, the door of Xiaowu's dormitory opened. The sound of the wooden door made Tang San turn around subconsciously, making eye contact with Xiaowu who was standing at the door. Xiaowu looked at Tang San with a somewhat complicated expression, unable to explain clearly. She really didn't know how to describe what he did. Since you are afraid that she will be in danger, why not teach her those self-created soul skills and powerful hidden weapons, and only give her the weakest sleeve arrow? However, when she was in danger, Tang San would protect her every time, and he did not break his oath. The title Douluo attacked just now. Tang San didn't even know what kind of existence his opponent was, so he was ready to protect her. It would be a lie to say that I am not moved. It's a pity that everything can't go back to what it was before. Tang San looked at the haggard Xiaowu and exclaimed, Xiaowu, you are finally willing to come out. As if he thought of something, Tang San quickly moved forward, walked to Xiaowu, and said, Xiaowu, why are you hiding from me? What happened? Why did you return this sleeve arrow to me? This is what I gave you to save your life. Tang San asked with a puzzled look on his face, and also a little crazy at the same time. He has been waiting here for almost a day, just wanting to know the answer. The Shujian in his hand was the first hidden weapon he made. This first hidden weapon he gave to his beloved sister Xiaowu. But now that the hidden weapon is back in his hands, does Xiaowu want to sever ties with him? He has always fulfilled the oath he made back then, and protecting Xiaowu has become his obsession. Now Xiaowu no longer needs his protection, which makes Tang San a little hard to accept. Yes, it must be because of Navalette. Without Navalette's appearance, Xiaowu would not be like this. The little dancer is numb, and the corners of her eyes are twitching. What can she do to save her life? A broken sleeve arrow, Tang San said it was given to her as a life-saving thing. Can this thing really save lives at a critical moment? Without waiting for Xiaowu to speak, Tang San continued, Xiaowu, is it because of Villette? Tell me, is it because of him that you treat me like this? Seeing Tang San getting more and more crazy, Xiaowu shook his head calmly. Is it really because of Violet? No. She has nothing to do with Navalette. It's just that when she sees him, it's like seeing a same kind, and that's why she wants to communicate with Navalette. Look at how he survives in this human society. For Navalette, Xiaowu didn't have any feelings of love or anything like that, it was just because of same race. Even if the other party is a superior person. Tang San, this matter has nothing to do with Villette. You don't understand what I need at all. You have no idea of my situation. The enemy I have to face cannot be solved with a sleeve of arrows. This life-saving thing, can it really protect me? It's better to give it back to you. Xiaowu said with an indifferent expression. Her expression did not change much. After hearing this, Tang San was stunned, looked at Xiaowu, and then looked at the sleeve arrow in his hand. It dawned on him. Tang San still remembered that when he and Xiaowu became sworn friends, Xiaowu once said something, if many people kill me, what will you do? At that time, Tang San said without hesitation, then please ask them to step over my body. Xiaowu's tone was to say that the enemy she had to face was very powerful. This sleeve arrow. Tang San's eyes twitched. Although the sleeve arrows were not the worst among hidden weapons, they were definitely not much better. He has built so much equipment, but Xiaowu is still using the initial equipment. It's strange that her mentality is normal. Xiaowu, it's not that I won't give you a more powerful hidden weapon, it's that you have a bad temper. What if your temper gets worse and you use a powerful hidden weapon to kill someone? Tang San said earnestly, he was doing this for the sake of all sentient beings. Isn't it considered a righteous thing? Xiaowu. Glancing at Tang San, Xiaowu opened his mouth slightly, but stopped talking. Who is trying to kill someone when everyone else has given up in a soul fight? Who directly used a large number of hidden weapons during the assessment? You, Tang San, use hidden weapons yourself, that is, hidden weapons are also part of your strength. She uses hidden weapons, but what if she hurts someone? Roll. After a long while, Xiaowu roared angrily, then returned to the room again and closed the door. Tang San looked at the closed door with a confused expression. Did he say something wrong? Why is Xiao Wu so angry? Recalling what he said before, Tang San fell into deep thought. He was right. For the sake of all the people in the world, the less used hidden weapons are, the better. Especially the more powerful hidden weapons, which are too harmful to the world, so try not to use them. In the original work, after defeating the Wuhun Empire, Tang San destroyed the Zhuge divine crossbow produced for the war. If this thing is left in the Tiando Empire, it will harm Tianhe. Wait a minute, Xiao Wu said she is in a situation and needs to face enemies. Suddenly, Tang San's eyes lit up, and then he said to the door, Xiao Wu, can you tell me? What is it like? 74. Get rid of the title of Saint. The screen changed to the Soul Fighting Arena. Fukalos was sitting alone in a box, watching Navalet, who was the referee below. A faint smile formed at the corner of her mouth. As for Dai Mubai's matter, she didn't take it to heart, he was just an insignificant person. If you don't open your eyes anymore, I'll kill you. I'll kill you. Time passed, and around 12 o'clock in the morning, the game in the Soul Fighting Arena ended. After the audience dispersed, Navalet came to the box. How was today's harvest? Villette. Fortunately, before the protagonist group arrives, the rate of increase will be slower, but over time, the improvement will be quite large. Navalet thought for a moment and then said. We have plenty of time, don't we? Right. Without the curse of wear and tear imposed by heaven, whether it is the demon god or the dragon king, their lifespan is endless. Maybe you can be killed, but it is almost impossible to die of old age. Especially the apex creature of the elements, the Dragon King. The older you get, the stronger you get. Excuse me, the beautiful and slippery Miss Fukalos, do you want to have a midnight snack? Mr. Navalet, shouldn't this kind of thing be decided by men? Oh, I forgot, Villette is still young. Fukalos covered his face with his hands and smiled. There is a black line coming out of Villette's forehead. This guy is real leather. I can't afford it. After helping Fukalos put on her shoes, Villette hugged her like a princess. In that case, it's up to me to decide. Put me down, I'm so embarrassed. I am thick-skinned and not afraid. I'm afraid. After the two of them walked out of the Soul Fighting Arena, many of the surrounding lights had been extinguished, and there were only a few pedestrians on the road. However, there are still many people eating late-night snacks. Especially those spectators who have just come out of the Soul Fighting Arena. This is why it is so late and many surrounding stores are not closed. Navalet looked sideways slightly, lowered his eyebrows, and looked towards Fukalos. He and Fukalos were walking side by side. Looking at them like this, there was no intention of blocking their sight at all. Hutao is a saint, and Fukalos is not much different. If this doesn't work, Fukalos must be freed from the title of saint. It doesn't matter that he has Villette, but no matter how poor you are, you can't afford education, and no matter how hard it is, you can't hurt your children. I think I know what I should have for dinner. Navalet murmured. Fukalos only felt Villette's eyes glancing at him, and then he had an ominous premonition. He glanced at Villette in confusion, and found that the other person had no expression on his face, as if nothing had happened. Fukalos became even more confused. What's the situation? Villette, what were you thinking about just now? Nothing. Villette said without blushing or heart beating. Suddenly, he seemed to have thought of something, and quickly changed his mind and said, oh, yes, I was just thinking about preparing something to eat. By the way, the fruit over there seems to be pretty good. Yeah. Fukalos' beautiful eyes were filled with doubts, and she always felt that things were not that simple. Yes, that's what I thought. Well, let's go over and have a try. As we all know, gods have no money. In order to get rid of this predicament, the god of water withdrew from the divine status. Therefore, Fukalos now has gold soul coins, among which there are Villettes and the meeting gift, given by the old man Lexius. For ordinary people, the kind that can last several lifetimes. The two of them didn't go far before they came to the place selling fruit. It was a medium-sized store. At this time, there happened to be a few young men and two beauties visiting the store, but apart from that, there was no one else. Sir, miss, what do you two need? The boss said quickly when he saw someone coming. As soon as he finished speaking, he took a careful look at Villette and said excitedly, Master Villette. Hello, I almost didn't recognize it just now. I am your fan. As soon as these words came out, the young talents and beauties in the store looked towards Navalette almost at the same time. To be called this by the store owner, this place is near the soul fighting arena. Could it be that a master came here? These days, although they have heard of Navalette's name, they have not studied it deeply. Just a celebrity from a small place. How strong can it be, no matter how strong it is? However, people are so close now that they cannot afford not to pay attention to it. Looking at this middle-aged man in his 40s, Villette's eyes twitched. Aren't his fans all those girls? I'm very happy to get your recognition. Thank you. Bring me a papaya juice, papaya platter, papaya. Hearing Navalette say thank you, the boss was stunned for a moment. He was a fan of the right person. How could those adults in the past be as polite as Navalette? The boss also quickly wrote down what Villette ordered. He didn't feel anything was wrong, but Fukalos' expression became increasingly weird. She lowered her head and looked at her toes, as if this was necessary. Just have some water at the end. The others belong to Fukalos, and this clear water belongs to Navalette. Fukalos. Okay, Mr. Villette, you sit down first, I will make arrangements right away. After the boss said this, he quickly ran towards the kitchen. Yes, the kitchen. The fruits sold here are food similar to platters, not whole fruits directly. That is, processed fruits. Navalette and Fukalos calmly found a place to sit down. Boss, I don't know why, but I always feel that Villette is very strong. Yufeng, don't tell me, I feel the same way, and it's very strong. I always feel like he is sitting there like a giant terror, and I don't even have much courage. As soon as these words came out, everyone looked at this man with doubts. This group of people is the members of Huangdo's team. The so-called captain is a direct descendant of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon sect and the grandson of the sect leader Yu Yuanjun. Tianeng, are you kidding? Yanzi, I never joke, you know. Yu Tianeng had a solemn expression on his face. He stared at Villette and said. The feeling this man gave him was as if he were facing his grandfather. No, it was as if he were facing a superior person. This was the throbbing of the martial soul. He, Yu Tianeng, can't control his martial soul without being afraid. This is also where Yu Tianeng is confused. You must know that his martial spirit is the best beast in the world, the blue electric Tyrannosaurus Rex. Although everyone's voices were low, Villette and Fukalos. 75. Sorry, I'm not good at fighting. Although the crowd's voices were low, due to Villette and Fukalos' strength, even if they didn't listen intentionally, these voices could still reach their ears. Fukalos blinked at Navalette, as if to say, they are talking about you. Navalette shook his head. It was just a trivial matter, insignificant. Besides, these comments were not bad words. Yu Tianeng's face became more solemn. You must know that he is now a level 39 fighting soul master, and he has almost no rivals among his peers. This Navalette looked a little younger than him, and the pressure he brought to him was even stronger than when he faced his grandfather Yu Yuanjun, which was very wrong. The martial spirit will not lie to others, he trusts the judgment of his own martial spirit. Yu Tianeng suddenly stood up, and walked towards Villette and Fukalos under the confused eyes of the members of Huangdo's team. Wow! As expected of the boss, he went up to provoke me, right? Yu Feng exclaimed. In his heart, Yu Tianeng is the most powerful being among his peers. What he said before should be to express that the other party is very strong. However, now he wants to prove that he is not weak either. Probably not, Tianeng is not that kind of person. Du Guyan shook his head and said. As the most outstanding member of the Tiando Royal Academy and the grandson of the leader of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon sect, Yu Tianeng is arrogant, but he has the capital to be arrogant. In other words, who among the members of Huangdo team is not arrogant? Those who can enter the first team of Huangdo are all the proud ones of heaven. Sister Yan, what you said. Du Guyan turned his head slightly, lowered his eyebrows, and glanced at Yu Feng indifferently. Ah, yes, the boss is not that kind of person. Yu Feng instantly felt a chill on his back and broke into a cold sweat. This woman, she is a soul sect. The first among them to break through to the soul sect level. Even if Du Guyan didn't break through to the soul sect, Yu Feng would still be no match for him. The distance between the two sides was not far, and it only took a few seconds for Yu Tianeng to reach Villette and Fukalos. Hello, Billet, my name is Yu Tianeng. My martial soul is Blue Electric Tyrannosaurus, a level 39 attack type battle soul master. I want to ask you for advice. Please accept it and let me know the gap between us. Quote. Yu Tianeng said with determination. His body was trembling slightly, but the honor of the family did not allow him to do this, which is why he came to ask Navalette for advice. The third sect in the world, the best beast spirit in the world, are you timid before fighting? Isn't this making everyone in the world laugh? His pride, and the glory of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon sect, would not allow Yu Tianeng to look like this. I'm sorry, Mr. Yu Tianeng, I'm not good at fighting, and I don't like fighting. I'm just an ordinary referee. Navalette shook his head and said without changing his expression. As soon as these words came out, Fukalos, who was looking at Yu Tianeng, suddenly turned around and looked at Navalette. The corners of her eyes twitched, her red lips opened slightly, and she stopped talking. Navalette said that he is not good at fighting. Ha ha ha. Navalette actually said that he was not good at fighting. Hey guys, who did you learn this from? Little Nawe would have lied. Hearing this, the members of Huang Dou's team, including Yu Tianeng, were all stunned. Not good at fighting or don't like fighting. But you are the referee of the soul fighting arena. After a slight hesitation, Yu Tianeng continued, Billet, please have a discussion with me. I just want to know how big the gap between us is. If you don't agree, then don't blame me. Take action here. Navalette. Why is this child so stubborn? You have to get a severe beating before you give up, right? Yu Tianeng's meaning is very simple. Translated from Billet's side, it is, if you don't beat me up, I will strike first. Billet, it's just a sparring match. Don't worry, the boss won't hurt you. Yu Feng came over at this time and said with a relaxed expression. He had never thought about what would happen if Yu Tianeng failed to defeat the opponent. Little handsome boy, Tian Heng's temper is so stubborn, just have a fight with him. If you win, my sister will treat you to drink the poisonous wine brewed by titled Douluo. Du Guyan had a faint smile on his face, and when he said these words, it made people shudder. Poison wine brewed by titled Douluo. Members of Huang Dou's team subconsciously shrank their necks, and their eyes changed when they looked at Du Guyan. Is her grandfather's wine something that low-level soul masters can taste? Let alone these soul masters, even the powerful soul saints may not dare to drink Dugu Bo's wine. Since Miss Duguyan has said so, I will take over this discussion. Oh, you know me. Du Guyan glanced at Billet with some confusion. You know, since she came to Soto City, she has been consolidating her soul power and has not played in a game. This Navalette, can you directly call her by her name? This is my first meeting with Miss Duguyan, but I have met Mr. Dugubo once. Billet said without changing his expression. What he said was absolutely correct. This was indeed the first time in his life that he had met the real Du Guyan. As for Dugu Bo, they did have a chance encounter. He just came back from the Ice and Fire Eye not long ago. These words made all the members of Huang Dou's team stunned. This handsome young man in front of me actually knows Dugu Bo. Good guy, what's his background? You know, even though they and Dugu Yan are classmates and partners, Dugu Bo has never looked at them. This guy. You actually know my grandfather. Dugu Yan was shocked, with a look of disbelief on his face. Mr. Dugu Bo, your granddaughter doubts the authenticity of my words. How about you come out and see me? In the doubtful eyes of Dugu Yan and others, Navalette said calmly. Yes, Dugu Bo is in the dark. After Dugu Yan swallowed the Earth Dragon Golden Melon, his soul power broke through to level 40, and his martial soul also evolved. After taking Dugu Yan to obtain the soul ring, he was not worried about the condition of his granddaughter, so he followed him secretly to see if anything would happen. After that, he came to Soto City. Haha, little friend, why should you care if children are ignorant? Dugu Bo smiled heartily and walked out of the darkness. He was very confused, how on earth Billet discovered him. But when he thought that Billet had never met him, he knew his problem, and the same was true for the Ice and Fire Eyes. He had never been there, but he knew that there was an immortal who could heal him and Dugu Yan in the Ice and Fire Eyes. Taste. Thinking of this, although Dugu Bo was confused, he did not continue to struggle. Dugu Bo was wearing green light armor. When he came out, the members of Huang Dou's team were stunned. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel Chapter 76. Do you think the soul fighting arena is run by your family? Navalette not only knows Dugu Bo, but also looks familiar to them. Didn't we agree that we only have a one-time relationship? Your Majesty, poison Douluo. After everyone came to their senses, they quickly gave Dugu Bo a noble salute. Dugu Bo waved his hand indifferently, but his eyes were focused on Villette. Grandpa, why are you here? Dugu Yan stepped forward and hugged Dugu Bo's arm, shook it slightly, and asked doubtfully. After hearing this, Dugu Bo moved his eyes from Navalette to Dugu Yan. Hey, I can't worry about you. Dugu Bo sighed, rubbed Dugu Yan's hair, and said. I have grown up. Besides, Tianeng will protect me. Really? Tianeng. Dugu Yan quickly blinked at Yu Tianeng, who was in a daze. Your Majesty, please rest assured, I, Yu Tianzheng, will take good care of Yanzi. Yu Tianeng came back to his senses and spoke with a serious and respectful expression. Dugu Bo, in fact, has always been opposed to him and Dugu Yan being together. Yu Tianeng has never known the reason. He was born into a famous family, was very powerful, and had no rival among his peers. He was handsome and had good character. However, Dugu Bo was opposed to this marriage. Institutions. Dugu Bo snorted coldly, without giving Yu Tianeng any face, and said, Are you as strong as Yanyan? Do you have the ability to protect Yanyan? This. Yu Tianeng was stunned for a moment, his mouth slightly opened, but he stopped talking. His current strength is indeed not as high as Dugu Yan's. When Dugu Bo said this, Yu Tianeng became a little embarrassed. Grandpa, Tianeng works very hard, he gritted his teeth and clenched his fists. Yu Tianeng seemed to have made up his mind, and then he said, Your Majesty, although my current strength is not as high as Yanzi's, I will definitely work hard. At the same time, I will also protect Yanzi. If anyone wants to hurt her, let him step over my body first. Navalette. Dugu Bo. Is this touching? This is just the roar of the weak. If something happens to Yanzi, I will definitely chop you up first. Dugu Bo rolled his eyes. What's the use of stepping over your body? It's not like you can't protect Yanyan. Ignoring the resentful Yu Tianeng and Dugu Yan, Dugu Bo turned to Navalette and said, My little friend, I haven't seen you for a month, and your style is even more impressive. A month ago, if Villette gave him the feeling of a threat, 1 month later today, it was more than just a threat. Mr. Dugu Bo is joking, please sit down. By the way, Mr. Yu Tianeng, our discussion will have to wait for a while. How will it go after our meal is over? It seemed like he was asking Yu Tianeng, but in fact the time had already been set. After hearing this, Yu Tianeng hesitated a little. He looked at Dugu Bo and then at Navalette. What do you think I'm going to do? You're lucky to be able to get some advice from my little friend. Dugu Bo said angrily, and then sat down opposite Navalette. Huh. Yu Tianeng was about to cry but had no tears left. If you knew that Dugu Bo knew this person, he wouldn't have come over. When the bow is opened, there is no turning back. The arrow is on the string and has to be fired. Okay, no problem. Nodding, Yu Tianeng agreed. He also wanted to see what kind of strength Villette was, worthy of Dugu Bo's praise. Time passed. When the boss came out with the food, he was a little confused. Why was there something wrong with the atmosphere outside? Although it's a bit weird, the boss is just an ordinary person, but he doesn't dare to ask more questions. About a quarter of an hour later, Fukalos finished his meal. Of course, eating only papaya was not enough. Navalette also took out an exquisite small cake from the storage soul guide. Ms. Funina likes it very much. I wonder if you like it, Ms. Fukalos. Navalette said without changing his expression. This scene made all the members of the Huangdo team and Dugu Bo look confused. Are they going to be fed with dog food at night? I thought you would eat it secretly at night, but I didn't expect it was prepared for me. Fukalos put away the small cake with a smile on his face and said, Let's go, without wasting everyone's time. This small cake should be eaten while watching the spirit fighting competition. After hearing this, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. So many people were waiting for her to eat alone. Who is this Fukalos? The relationship between Villette and her seems to be very unusual. At the time of paying the bill, the boss quickly declined, saying that he was a fan of Navalette, and this meal was treated as his invitation. Boss, I appreciate your kindness, thank you. However, there is no reward for no merit. These are 2 gold soul coins, which should be able to offset the cost of this meal. After Navalette said this, he put down 2 gold soul coins, and then walked out of the store with Fukalos. Lord Villette, there are too many, there are too many. Then please put it in the account, boss, and we'll come back next time. Okay, okay. The surprise came too suddenly. Master Villette would actually come to his shop again. If this was just a publicity. No, no. The boss shook his head and gave up the idea of making money. After the group left the shop, they saw Villette and Fukalos walking towards the soul fighting arena. Yu Feng said quickly, Navalette, you are going the wrong way. The soul fighting arena is closed now. If you want to discuss things at this time, of course you can only go outside the city and find any place. After hearing this, Villette and Fukalos stopped in their steps, but they had forgotten about this incident. However, it doesn't seem to matter. It's okay, just follow me to the spirit fighting field. Navalette waved his hand and said, I went with you to the soul fighting arena. Do you think the soul fighting arena is owned by your family? If you ask others to open the door, they will open the door. Yu Feng muttered softly. But who here is not a powerful person above the soul master? Among them, there is a titled Douluo. Who can't hear his voice? Before Villette could say anything, Dugu Bo patted Yu Feng on the shoulder and said, Your name is Yu Feng, right? With this shot, Yu Feng's whole soul almost left his body, and he turned pale with fright. This was a titled Douluo, and the titled Douluo with the weirdest personality, Poison Douluo. He doesn't even give face to his granddaughter's boyfriend, let alone a small character like Yu Feng. Your Majesty, yes, my name is Yu Feng. Yu Feng, don't tell me, really don't tell me, this spirit fighting arena was really opened by Villette's family. Yu Feng. Everyone. After hearing this, everyone looked at Villette and recalled what they had done in the soul fighting arena these days. Finally, they gave Yu Tianeng a sympathetic look. Captain, he shouldn't be beaten to death. Please give me monthly votes and recommended votes. Thank you all, Yanzu. 77. So it was solved in this way. When Navalette and Fukalos brought a group of people to the soul fighting arena, the staff guards were a little confused, but they still let them go. I randomly found the nearest arena, and the staff cooperated and turned on the lights. I don't know who spread the news, saying that Villette will compete with the captain of the Imperial fighting team. No, both sides haven't played yet, and the staff of the soul fighting field have arrived one after another. As expected of the young master, I will directly make a private appointment with the opponent's captain to fight the spirit. As long as this Yu Tianeng is injured, the probability of losing tomorrow's team spirit fight will be greatly increased. Is this how it was originally solved? That's amazing. Supervisor Ao, who didn't know the specific process, sighed and praised. Lord Villette is very powerful. I have only seen Lord Villette take action once. That time, it was so amazing. Are you talking about the last time Lord Villette stopped the third player? That's right. Lord Villette, with the strength of the Soul Lord, burst out faster than the Soul Lord, and was able to save the iron-blooded combination. Okay, be quiet, this is Lord Navalette's first time competing in the spirit fighting arena. Let's take a good look at your heroic appearance. I am Lord Villette's son. Question mark question mark question mark quote. It seems like something got mixed in. The members of the Wangdu team looked at each other in confusion when they saw this. Are they really not flattering? Just because Villette is the young master of the soul fighting arena, are they bragging like this? Let's see the real chapter under my hands. We're going to see what this young man, whom everyone in the Poison Douluo family praises, is really capable of. Everyone secretly thought that only Yu Tianeng was really under great pressure. Originally, it was in order to understand the gap between himself and Navalette that Yu Tianeng used rogue tricks to force Navalette to accept this spirit fight. As a result, the more he understood, the more frightened he became. Ahem, our place is a spirit fighting arena. How can we not have gambling and fighting when we have fighting spirits? Which one of you is willing to bet with me? I bet that Lord Villette will win. Quote. Everyone was silent. Hearing this, Yu Tianeng was even more unsure. How strong is Villette? Hunzun. There is absolutely no way he is Soul Lord. With this idea in mind, Yu Tianeng stepped into the ring. Navalette was already standing opposite him. Master Yu Tianeng, I'm not good at fighting, but if you insist on having a spar with me, it's hard to refuse. Let's see, if young Master Yu Tianeng can defeat my self-created soul skills, or if the Imperial Fighter team comes on stage together, as long as they can defeat my self-created soul skills, I will be considered a winner. Villette said expressionlessly. It was not that he looked down on Yu Tianeng, but the gap between the two was really too big. Hearing this, Yu Tianeng was stunned, and a look of disbelief appeared on his pale face. His eyes widened. After coming back to his senses, Yu Tianeng was extremely angry. What does it mean that he, Yu Tianeng, defeated Navalette's self-created soul skill and won? Furthermore, why should the Wangdu team come together? Wait a minute, he also said that he is not good at fighting. Not good at fighting, how could he say such a thing? You, look down on me. Yu Tianeng said with a puzzled look. I'm sorry, Mr. Yu Tianeng, I didn't mean to look down on you. Maybe my description caused you to misunderstand my words. Let's put it this way, you all go on the field together. As long as you can defeat my self-created soul skills, you will win. Yu Tianeng's people are numb, isn't this just because they look down on him? Even if Villette is powerful, it won't be like this, right? Yu Tianeng clenched his fists tightly, his back molars were almost broken, and he said suddenly, no need. I am enough. Mr. Yu Tianeng, are you sure you don't need it? Villette asked with a strange expression. Why did he feel that Yu Tianeng had broken his defense? He said this really for Yu Tianeng's good. Unnecessary. When you lose, you have to lose with dignity, and when you win, you have to win beautifully. 7 against 1, our Imperial fighting team cannot do this kind of thing. Yu Tianeng said firmly. Yu Feng, Shimo, Graphite, Oslo and others were equally angry after hearing this. Villette actually asked them to come together, and all they had to do was defeat his self-created soul skills. This is called not good at fighting. This is so arrogant that there is no limit to it. Okay, referee, let's announce the start of the spirit fight. The most indispensable thing in the spirit fighting arena is the referee. As Navalette's voice fell, the referee on the side nodded. He also wanted to see whether the supreme judge had real abilities or whether he relied on relationships. 3, 2, 1. The soul fighting begins. Yu Tianeng took the lead in completing the martial soul possession. Possessed by the blue electric Tyrannosaurus Rex. Different from ordinary soul masters who are possessed by the martial soul of the beast soul master, after being possessed by the martial soul of Yu Tianeng, one of his arms has transformed into a dragon. This is the secret method of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon sect, dragon transformation. 3 soul rings, 2 yellow and 1 purple, quickly rose from Yu Tianeng's feet. Coupled with the rolling and roaring blue thunder and lightning around him, Yu Tianeng looked full of momentum at this time. Yu Tianeng had reported his soul power level before. After he released his martial soul, he stared straight at Villette. Navalette held the crutch in his right hand and raised his left hand lightly. The eternal flowing ceremony instantly appeared in front of him, floating. Subsequently, 3 aqua blue soul rings appeared on Navalette. Navalite, Wuhun, the eternal flow ceremony. Book. Yu Tianeng was a little confused after seeing Villette's martial spirit. This feeling was wrong. The release of the martial soul by Villette is just a cutscene. I saw a flash of light on Villette's left and right hands, and a ball of flame and a ball of pure water appeared in front of him. Pure water. This scene shocked the staff of the soul fighting arena and the members of the Imperial fighting team. That Villette can actually master 2 elements. Furthermore, these 2 elements restrain each other. Amid the shocked eyes of everyone, Villette was seen holding the crutch's right hand and lightly tapping the ground with the crutch. The flame and the water ball beside it instantly rolled and spun. In less than 2 seconds, 2 huge dragon lizards appeared on the ring. I saw them looking up to the sky and roaring. The entire fighting spirit arena is boiling. Dragon. Is this a dragon soul beast? Dragon lizards are also elemental creatures, and the oldest elemental dragon king was born among them. For Naval, making a real dragon lizard still needs some time to grow, but making a fake dragon lizard is too simple. The so-called false dragon lizard is the dragon lizard he has created so far, which has no real life. 78. Water dragon lizard. That visitor, you have such a double standard. Don't think of dragon lizards as dragons. They are also elemental creatures and belong to the dragon family. Of the two dragon lizards in front of me, one is dark blue, representing the water attribute. The other one is dark red, representing the fire attribute. Yu Tianeng swallowed, his expression a little dull. For some reason, he always felt that these two dragons were suppressing him very much. This is a dragon that I have never seen before. It's Navalet's self-created soul skill. Wait a minute, is this a soul skill? Or self-made? The scene became quiet, and everyone was looking at the two dragon lizards. These two dragon lizards were made by Navalet based on the appearance of the young dragon lizards on the Tabat continent. The two are indeed only young, and their standing height is only a little taller than Navalet at this time. Their appearance is somewhat cute, which is completely different from the domineering appearance of adult dragon lizards. Mr. Yu Tianeng, please. After Navalet said something, he waved his left hand, and the young dragon lizard of water and fire rushed over thinking of Yu Tianeng. At this moment, Yu Tianeng's back felt cold and he broke into a cold sweat. Don't underestimate these two guys. The pressure they brought was really beyond what Yu Tianeng could bear. Fight. The first soul skill, Thunder Dragon Claw. I saw Yu Tianeng's first yellow soul ring flashing, and a large amount of thunder power suddenly appeared within 10 meters around him, and there was even blue thunder surrounding his right arm. After releasing the Thunder Dragon Claw, Yu Tianeng also thought about the two dragon lizards and rushed over. 30 meters, this distance is only a blink of an eye for both parties. Yu Tianeng's first opponent was the dark blue water dragon lizard. This water dragon lizard didn't look as domineering as the fire dragon lizard. Kill the weakest one first. Navalet. Is it possible that both dragon lizards were specially made by him? The strength is about the same. Besides, Navalet himself is an apex creature of the water element. If he really wanted to create a dragon lizard, he would definitely make a stronger water dragon lizard, not an imitated fire dragon lizard. His fire element comes from the Douluo Fire Dragon King. Although his fire attribute has reached its peak in the Douluo world, it cannot be compared with the water element of Billet. Billet and Fukalos learned how to fight with a dragon lizard with their hands. Fukalos can have 3 generals, can't he squeeze 2 dragon lizards with his bare hands? What? Myluxon. Impossible. They are so cute, how could they be allowed to fight? This kind of dirty work must of course be left to the dragon lizard. Hydrosaurus. Navalet, you have such a double standard. We are your dependents. Seeing Yu Tianeng slap a dragon claw on the water dragon lizard, he instantly became happy. Hit. They are not as powerful as imagined. Wait, that's not right. Yu Tianeng's face changed wildly, and Dugu Yan's cry rang in his ears. Tianeng, be careful. It hit, indeed it hit. However, Yu Tianeng only felt that his blow seemed to hit the horizontal surface, or hit the cotton. The other party didn't react at all, but the attacker, Yu Tianeng, felt some pain in his hand. This scene is very much like a young rock dragon lizard hitting a rice cooker with a hammer. Nothing happened to the rice bowl, but the young rock dragon lizard fainted. It's just that the scene here has changed, and the dragon lizard has become the protagonist. Although Yu Tianeng is an attack-type battle spirit master, his speed is not slow. He evacuated the opponent's attack range before the young fire dragon lizard could slap it with a claw. Who? Yu Tianeng frowned and stared at the young water and fire dragon lizard. He didn't know how to win. What the hell, how can someone's self-created soul skill be able to summon a dragon? He was thinking, but the dragon lizard's attack would not stop. 2 dragon lizards, one on the left and one on the right, rushed towards Yu Tianeng. At the same time, corresponding elemental forces emerged from their claws. Each hit will be attached with elemental power, one water and one fire. No matter how you hit it, it will cause evaporation damage. This is the release of Billet into the sea. If the elemental strength of the two is strengthened, Yu Tianeng will die in minutes for everyone to see. Damn it, it can't be beaten at all. Furthermore, since water and fire work together, I don't dare to act rashly. Once I am hit, the damage caused by water and fire is not simple. Suddenly, Yu Tianeng realized. He finally understood why Billet said that he was not good at fighting. With these 2 bodyguards around, did he need to be able to fight? Even myself, who possesses the blue electric Tyrannosaurus Rex martial spirit, is not a match for these two bodyguards. Who else at the same level can be Navalet's rival? Seeing that Yu Tianeng was at a disadvantage from the beginning, Du Guyan, Yufeng and others were extremely anxious, but there was nothing they could do. These two weird dragons are too powerful, right? Even Yu Tianeng has no way to deal with them. Tianeng, Captain, come on. The staff in the fighting arena were also shocked. This was the first time they had seen this kind of fighting method. Lord Villette is so powerful, I don't even need to take action, the summons are enough to crush my opponent. After hearing this, Du Guyan subconsciously yelled at the staff member, "You fart, has Tianheng been crushed? He can obviously resist." Yu Tianeng was slightly startled, and the corners of his eyes twitched. "Yanzi, your words make me look very shameless. Yan, be more ladylike, be more ladylike." A few black lines appeared on Dugu Bo's forehead. It would be better not to say this to his granddaughter. On the field, Yu Tianeng was already sweating profusely. Just now he was distracted and was hit directly. The blow was just a slight touch and one of his ribs was broken. This is true when facing one dragon lizard, let alone two. It's completely unbeatable. Tianeng. Du Guyan roared angrily and didn't care to argue with the staff. Didn't Villette say before that they, the Imperial fighter team, could go together? Then you can't blame her. Du Guyan was seen rushing to the ring immediately. Seeing this, Yufeng and others hesitated for a second, and then also came to the ring. Villette, what you said before still count. Yufeng said bravely, he couldn't let Du Guyan say this. Although he usually seems to be a comedian, in fact, he is very smart. When Navalet saw this, his expression didn't change much. He nodded and said, "A gentleman's words are hard to follow. The previous words will naturally count." As soon as these words came out, the staff of the Soul Fighting Arena became excited. That Lord Villette is really, he is really, I cry to death. I am Lord Villette's son. Good guy, let me find you, you kid. On the stage. After Yi Lingling treated Yu Tianeng, the members of the Royal Do team assumed a fighting stance. Navalet, what you have to face now is the complete Imperial battle team. 79. Then we have to turn around. In the hearts of most soul masters in Douluo Continent, a person's power always has limits, and at the same time, it also has flaws. However, a complete team of soul masters is different. They have a clear division of labor and can bring out their greatest advantages, while their teammates will make up for their own shortcomings. The Imperial battle team is a whole, with strong attack, control, defense, agility attack, flying, and auxiliary healing systems, each of which makes up for the other's shortcomings. Du Guyan, Martial Soul, Jade Phosphorus Dragon, Level 43 Control Type Fighting Soul Sect, please give me some advice. Wind Control, Martial Spirit. After everyone's names were known, they looked at the Water Fire Dragon Lizard with a solemn expression. During this period, Navalet did not control the dragon lizards to attack. They seemed to have lost their souls and stood motionless. At this time, the two dragon lizards roared again, symbolizing their return. Yu Tianeng looked at the two dragon lizards with a solemn expression. He had experienced their terror. Be careful, their defense is very strong, I am no match in terms of strength, and try not to get contaminated by the water or fire on them. The water and fire they emit are very strange and have extremely high adhesion. Once the two elements collide, there will be a strange damage. I don't understand it very well. Yu Tianeng directly expressed his experience of being beaten before. He was afraid that his teammates would suffer the same fate. I got it, Captain Tianheng. Everyone responded, with fighting intent flashing in their eyes. At this time, Du Guyan suddenly raised his beautiful eyes, frowned, and his eyes changed when he looked at Navalet and the two dragon lizards. This is a kind of fear coming from Wuhun. Du Guyan turned to look at Yu Tianeng. She seemed to understand why Yu Tianeng had challenged Navalet before. You must know that her martial soul has evolved into a sub-dragon species after she swallowed that sweet potato. Such a powerful martial spirit, facing Villette or even facing two summoned beasts, will the martial spirit be afraid? Let's try their attacks to see how powerful they are. The two brothers Shimo and Shimo said almost at the same time that their martial spirit was Xuanwu Turtle, the top existence among defensive martial spirits. Be careful. Yu Tianeng did not reject the two brothers' proposal. He knew how strong their defenses were. The formation changed, and the two people instantly came to the front, one facing a dragon lizard. At the same time, the dragon lizard's attack also arrived at this time. There was no bells and whistles, it was just a slap with a raised claw, directly attacking the black tortoise shield. In an instant, Shimo's expression changed. This pure power was simply not something they could stop. Question mark question mark question mark quote. In the confused eyes of everyone, the two brothers held up their basalt shields, flew out, and hit the ground heavily. Is this the case? No, the martial souls of these two brothers are Xuanwu turtles. You rushed to the street so quickly. Everyone was stunned, and some staff members laughed instantly after realizing it. Lord Villette is so powerful. These two summons knocked down two of the top defense souls with just one blow. Villette twitched the corners of his mouth. He did not secretly strengthen this at all. Yu Tianeng was able to dodge the two dragon lizards at least, but these two idiots held up their shields to receive the attack, and received a full blow. It would be strange if they were not knocked away. Are defensive soul masters so confident in their own defense? It's not Shimo's fault, the two Shimo brothers were confident. They had no idea that the water-fire dragon lizard could be so powerful. Blocking the opponent's attack was originally the attack method of defensive soul masters. They did nothing wrong, they just underestimated their opponents. Yu Feng and others' mouths were slightly open, their eyes widened, and they stopped talking. No. Is it so scary? No wonder the boss, Yu Tianeng, was unable to fight back the whole time. While everyone was stunned, the young dragon lizards of water and fire suddenly came together. No, I have an ominous premonition. Stop them. Yu Tianeng suddenly roared, and his feeling was most obvious. After the two dragon lizards came together, their aura suddenly increased a lot. After shouting these words, Yu Tianeng took the lead, ignoring the two brothers Shimo and Shimo who fell to the ground, and rushed forward. Yufeng, Oslo was stunned for a moment, and then quickly realized that they were agile attack-type soul masters. With their full strength, they arrived first and surpassed Yu Tianeng. Unfortunately, it's too late. After the water and fire young dragon lizards came together, back to back, the elemental power quickly condensed, and their auras also surged at this moment. I saw two dragon lizards spitting out water pillars and fire pillars respectively, and their bodies rotated clockwise at the same time. As they moved, the water pillars and fire pillars swept across the entire place. Exclamation mark quote. Yu Tianeng and others are numb. Good guy, are there such big moves waiting for them? Hide. How can they avoid this kind of skill? Didn't you see Yu Feng flying in the sky being specially taken care of by the fire-breathing dragon lizard? Just as he came into contact with the pillar of fire, Yufeng flew backwards in an instant, and his whole person looked like he was cooked. Different from the book, Yufeng's hair was instantly burned away by the flames. Admit defeat, we admit defeat. After shouting these words, Yu Tianeng seemed to have lost all his strength and fell to the ground. He understands. In the face of absolute strength, the team. It's just a joke. As soon as Yu Tianeng finished speaking, Villette waved his hand, and the two dragon lizards instantly transformed into their original forms, two groups of pure elements, and then slowly dissipated into the air. Tianeng, are you okay? Du Guyan was about to find a chance to take action, but she had no chance at all. When the two dragon lizards released their skills, if she and Yi Lingling hadn't been far apart, they might have ended up like Yu Tianeng, Yufeng and others. I'm fine. Look at Yufeng and Oslo. Their defenses are not as strong as mine, but they withstood the first wave of attacks. Yu Tianeng said with some dejection, such a powerful imperial battle team, the entire team, was defeated faster than he was alone. This shows what? Before, he was able to resist for so long only because of Villette's release into the sea. Yu Feng, Oslo, you. Ahem, it's okay. As long as Sister Lingling is here, I won't die. The wind controller was numb. As a flying soul master, he was supposed to have the advantage, but what happened? He is a complete target. I'm fine too. Oslo said with some difficulty. Fortunately, Yu Tianeng surrendered quickly. He only experienced the water column attack and was not attacked by the fire dragon lizard. Terrible. Navalette, you are very strong, I trust my intuition. 80. Time will tell. I trust my intuition. Even without these two summoned dragons, you are still very powerful. Navalette, next time we will never lose so ugly. I originally thought that Yu Tianeng would say something harsh, but in the end, what did he say that he would not lose so ugly next time? Young Master Yu Tianeng is overly praised. I have no interest in fighting. Before Navalette could finish speaking, Yu Tianeng frowned, stood up in vain, and shouted at Navalette, Navalette. Just pretend, just act. With your strength, you will become famous all over the world sooner or later. When you become famous all over the world, it will be enough to prove that I, Yu Tianeng, am not weak. Our team is not weak either. If we lose to you, we are convinced. Yu Tianeng just knelt on the ground and begged Na Wei Lai for a special performance. Their imperial fighting team was really not weak. Suddenly, Yu Tianeng seemed to have thought of something, his eyes lit up, and he continued, I know, you must be saying that you are not interested in fighting because you are too strong. There is no one among your peers who can compete with you. Do you feel that you are overwhelmed by the high altitude? Haha, that must be the case. Without waiting for Nava to speak, after Yu Tianeng finished speaking, he turned to Yu Feng, helped the other party, and then walked out of the soul field. Navalette. My Yu Tianeng's perception is absolutely correct, time will prove everything. Yu Tianeng said without looking back, and did not pause after his words fell. Captain, does his brain. Ahem, Sister Yan is still here. Oh. Mo Zi shut up instantly, and after looking at each other with Shi Mo, he helped Oslo up and chased after him. Tianeng. Yi Lingling. No, why was she left on the ring in the end? Master Villette, you are really too humble. Captain, he may not be able to accept this fact. Please don't take it to heart. Yi Lingling said softly, her voice was ethereal and very pleasant. Ms. Yi Lingling, I don't take this matter to heart, but I would like you to remind Mr. Yu Tianeng that the mentality of a cultivator is very important. Navalette waved his hand and said expressionlessly. It was not his original intention to fight against Yu Tianeng and others. Now, Yu Tianeng seems to be a little crazy. Okay, Navalette, I'll bring you the message. I'll take my leave now. Yi Lingling made a soul master's ceremony, and then walked in the direction where his teammates left. In the spirit fighting arena, the staff looked at each other. None of them expected that this judge was actually more powerful than they imagined. No wonder a young man can be the supreme magistrate. Other referees who were slightly unconvinced were also convinced at this moment. Hey, little friend, Yan Yan is always reckless, so please don't take it to heart. This is the wine Yan Yan promised before, I will hand it over to the little friend. At this time, Douluo Bo came to Navalette and said with a smile on his face. It is the details that determine success or failure. Douluo Yan forgot his previous promise, because of Yu Tianeng's incident, and invited Navalette to drink the poisonous wine brewed by titled Douluo. However, Douluo Bo did not forget this matter. He fulfilled his promise on behalf of Duguyan, and no one could find any fault with him. However, when Douluo Bo looked at Villette, a trace of regret flashed away in his eyes. Why doesn't Yan Yan look down on such a potential young man? If Navalette was his grandson-in-law, he would have no objection at all. It's a pity that Douluo Yan and Yu Tianeng are already a pair. Although Douluo Bo looked down on Yu Tianeng, it was Douluo Yan's choice after all. Love the house and the bird, he is just too angry to live up to his expectations. Mr. Douluo Bo, your granddaughter is just a joke, why should you take it seriously? A gentleman's words are hard to catch. My little friend, you said so yourself. After hearing this, Villette smiled bitterly. This was indeed what he had said before. In that case, I will accept it. I would like to thank Mr. Douluo Bo for his kindness. At the same time, I would also like to thank Miss Duguyan and me. Seeing this, Douluo Bo nodded. Although Navalette cannot become a family, it is still necessary for such a powerful person with potential to have some contact. The most important point is that Douluo Bo can clearly sense that Navalette is different from others. Others know that he is Douluo Bo, so they are either afraid of him, stay away from him, or are duplicitous. Even Prince Shuexing, the person who saved his life, did not dare to drink his Douluo Bo's wine. Navalette is different, he is really different from others. Even his elixir, Navalette didn't take it into consideration at all and swallowed it directly. How many years ago did you feel this way about being believed? They all say that Dugu Bo is withdrawn and weird, but he is used to living in groups. Why doesn't he long for friends in his heart? It's just that no one wants to believe him, Dugu Bo. Little brother, although that matter is a transaction, I can't help but repay you for the life-saving grace you gave me and Yanyan. Speaking of this, Dugu Bo stretched out 3 fingers and pointed at Navalet. 3 things, as long as I can do them, I can help you accomplish these 3 things unconditionally. If you have any difficulties, you can go to Tiando City to find me. After saying this, without waiting for Navalet to refuse, Dugu Bo disappeared instantly. He is an extremely arrogant person. At the same time, he is also extremely conceited and does not want to be rejected. Based on his understanding of Navalet, the other party would probably reject it, but he, Dugu Bo, could not be rejected. Navalet. He hadn't even figured out how to return the cause and effect of the ice and fire eyes, but Dugu Bo did this again. It seems that the Dugu family should not have declined. Navalet murmured. Dugu Bo didn't know what kind of future his decision today would bring. The spirit fighting is over, and the staff have returned to the dormitories one after another. They still have work tomorrow. If Billet hadn't come on stage, they wouldn't have been interested in coming to watch. When their hobby becomes a profession, they really don't have much interest in fighting spirits, unless it is a particularly exciting spirit fighting. When Navalet found Fukalos, the water was eating a small cake at this time. Just by looking at it, Billet knew that Fukalos had just taken it out and had taken one bite at most. Want to try it? Fukalos blinked, dragging the small cake with his left hand and holding a small spoon in his right hand. When Navalet saw this, the corner of his mouth raised a slight smile. I want to taste it more than the cake. Thank you for watching. Continue exploring the fascinating world of Chinese novels with us. Hit that subscribe button on Chinese Novel Audiobook to stay updated with our latest stories, and never miss out on a great listen.